leading. If everyone go, I'ma know that you treat. You think I'm conceited, I'm playing completed. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. Everybody can't go, no beat it. Fire. You realize people that you love, but you not. I was throw out. Look. We at war, we at war. Everybody can't go there. Some of us vibing high. Everybody can't go there. Some of y'all might leave family behind. Everybody can't go there. Could have completed, but you get deleted. Some people defeated, so you feel deleted. And knowledge is medicine, knowing you need it. If everyone go, I'ma know that you treated. You think I'm conceited, I'm feeling completed. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. Everybody can't go, though, beat it. You was the sinner that's starting to win. No pretending, actually win. Low vibrations, you win. Letting them toxins in. All my people are toxin us. Everyone on our toxin land. Agent like cosmology. I am the source, I go within. I can't go unless I go to win. Really, a God's supposed to win. Anyone that's trying to get with me, start doing the most you in. Trying to turn up and goes to 10. Look like, oh, you almost in. In our game, we all go in. G, I'm a root, we all go in. Ran the water, but can't make you drink. No, I'm not here to just make you think. If anything, I'm here to just make you fight. It's all off, just make it right. With it. Let me tell you, I don't like reading. Freedom ain't for you, broke, I get it. Let me tell you, don't like breathing. Can't even wake you up, you sleeping. Niggas are sleeping, stopping, snoozing. Some of y'all sleep through all the trees. They government beefing. Now you vegan, need our talking. Really don't need them. Now we lost this house, it's freedom. Really gonna hurt my heart to leave them. Really gonna hurt my heart to leave them. This is simulation or a cycle. They be hating on you for survival. That's why I don't listen to the Bible. Ain't nobody trying to go on viral. We original, we hold the title. Lot of work to do, how you idle. Ain't no false idols in their Bible. We ancient for ancient in Ohio. Say what you want and do what you do, but I'm starting to get, I don't know about you. Gotta go with it, can't go on YouTube. If you think you know, you ain't got no clue. Say what you want and do what you do, but I'm starting to get it, I don't know if you do. Gotta go with it, can't go on YouTube. If you think you know, you ain't got no clue. Oh, we at war. Everybody can't go there. Some of us vibing high. Everybody can't go there. Some of y'all might leave family behind. Everybody can't go there. Could completed, but you get deleted. Some people are defeated, so you feel deleted. And knowledge is medicine, knowing you need it. If everyone go, I'ma know that you should. You think I'm conceited, I'm feeling completed. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. Life is a game and I'm planning to beat it. I'm planning to beat it.
Swear we gon' die every day. They say Jesus gon' save us, but I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we can. We been here, lived here, open borders, got deported, fought for rights. Kidnapped, bitch slapped, blacked out, covered up, washed white. Drugged up, slugged up, beat bread, left for dead, fuck your life. It's all a plan, kill you, man, take your land, slave your kids, break your wife. Why y'all look so mad if all this shit I say is true? Why y'all look so mad if all this shit happened to you? White man quick to tell you, you was a slave nothing before. But he himself only been free since 1840. I'm recording, I'm an ancient Egyptian from Atlantis, extravagant, that's Israel. Nothing fake about me, no cappy rapping, I just feel the ink and I'm digital. No caveman, I'm original. Kentucky fried, extra Christian, wear a lot of gold, cause my family history. I'm the God I know will bring death to history. But we gon' die every day. They say Jesus gon' save us, but I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we can. But we gon' die every day. They say Jesus gon' save us, but I know we die if we wait. I know we die if we can't. They tell us we black, but we ain't. Aboriginal, native, yeah, we gon' die every day. Cause we don't know where we can.
Feeling like I'm sorry. I don't need no driver license. I don't need just the beauty like a license. That a ride or die and still look show. You know they try to drown me in Aramaic, but I'm alive, they can't bury me. Now I'm wealthy and scholarly. Walk on the scene like I'm JC. Now I'm doing bigger, better. I'm changing habits, it's never change. The meditation clears the mind. Keep the soul clear. Don't you let them use you. Keep your weapon near. Celebration is the only way out here.
Yeah, you listening to Super Play, let's go. Yeah, you listening to Super Play, let's go. DJ Super Blaze is in the mix. Every day I wake up, I'ma be the one, be the two, be the way. Every day I wake up, make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the God, they only telling they saw I keep telling lies like they on more. The more rich kids getting money on phone. Down here in the hood, yeah, we no bar. Right, keep rolling out, yeah, we got to go. Fill them ass, fill them my back. Give me the cash before the whole market crash. The news flash, this is blast from the past. We gonna smash it, be prepared to hit the gas. Feel the land, get the wealth, change your name, get the title in your hands with the game. Elevation, alright, we alive, blood eye, and we travel. Drive! Blood eye, and we travel. Just my child. The last one I put there is blood eye, and we travel. And sharing no one, I'm a thing, you know I'm on. That's white boy. We need some brand new right. We got the hearts and some great minds. If we get out, just decent. Get the land, get the wealth, change your name. Get the title in your hands with the game. Elevation, alright. We alive, blood eye, and we travel. Drive! Blood eye, and we travel. Blood eye, and we travel. Get the land, get the wealth, change your name. Get the title in your hands with the game. Elevation, alright. We about blood eye, and we travel. Oh, look at how y'all. Definitely my job, I offer mine, so what's happening? Government and all across the line, so what's happening? My ancestors wouldn't like you cross the line, so what's happening? We original, y'all cheating on y'all line. I do this for my niche, my niche. I do this for my niche, my niche. She left me where I was, cause I ain't never scared. Took that little ice off my neck for this girl head. My nation, my niche, someone thorough said. Real Americans, still pure blood, we thoroughbred. I'm like, let my people go and just take me instead. When it's red or blue pill, I'm only choosing red. I'ma always choose my people, you can keep that bread. Our government over trillion, you can keep that bread. It's one thing, Jim Crow showing me. I don't want no white folks ruling over me. I don't want no politicians ruling over me. I don't want no po-po ruling over me. Only somebody just like me gon' treat me like me. I'm higher while you Chief and Dr. GLE, I'm still a G like this. You might not diss jizz me. You think you free, but you need remedy to this. I'm from the hood, I'm still waking up my people. They got us good, they still hating on my people. When it comes to fashion, the whole world wanna be like us. When it comes to music, the whole world wanna be like us. When it comes to dancing, the whole world wanna be like us. Foreigners who doing everything, trying to weaken us. Of course, y'all can't fuck with us. Rhythm know we killing y'all. Anything involve a ball. Mentally, we figured out the cosmos. After all the big shit, we smashing y'all. It's time to take the asking y'all. White spot blood after all. Vatican and the Smithsonian got all our shit. Artifacts and relics still keeping us away from them. When they say it was a long time ago, that's racist shit. Y'all only let you stolen shit. We don't need y'all holding it. Reverse engineering our technology, controlling it. David everything you got, but you can't put no soul in it. I ain't gon' see the new matrix cause I'm living it. Everything is
not what it seems, but I'm killing it. Killing you before to pay attention who you living with. Now they trying to mandatory facts because you getting it. Fall back off my knees, I'm peeping y'all tactics. This ain't no earth war, this shit is galactic. Goddesses and guys warming up like practice. We gon' put arrows on your chest like patches. Style like us, them fake niggas ain't wild like us. I ain't got a soul, destiny, as a child like us. Nobody power like us, nobody peace, talk like us. I think y'all can run like us, nobody lost their way like us. Wake them up, I'm in the way. Say too much, I'm in the way. They trying to kill us anyway, so listen what I'm finna say. Everybody got kids, we raised y'all anyway. Listen to me to say, everybody ain't here to stay. Issue with us or against us, ain't no in between. I'm a non-teacher being, not a human being. Fucking 1492, but all my allies really do. Renegade got tricks today, be careful, I advise you to.
Yeah, you listen to Super Blaze.
DJ Super Blaze. It's in the mix.
I just want to vibe to the beat, boy. I said I just want to smoke the tree. I don't want to do too much. I just want to kind of keep it. I want to kind of get lost in the beat, you feel? Time to switch up on my feet. Stand up whatever I speak. Writing about them, I'm like, I'm a vibe university of love now. Intellectual war, but I'm dumb. I really don't key when a nigga be dumb fly. I'm gonna be the praise for the one that made the dumb cry. You can see the fidgets in your open up your third eye. Just niggas every with the way I can work out. This shit that's more when I fall for the herb. I'm easy. Exhale in the herb. When it come to Captain Black, so I be the worst side shit. I ain't faking the vibes. I be the business line. I'm a pack in my pour the wine. Show smoke the tree. But you ain't come hurt with me. Yeah, X-ray certainly. Especially on the lead. They believe in hurting me. Bitch, you feel hands strong like Hercules. Nigga, if you got the pressure, you deserve me. I'm a burn to the third degree, burn the G. You got a good man, should have heard from me. I can wait till the nigga start learning me. So I can make it all that's right. You can breathe. All these people shit for camera shit. I just want to out here. I want to let you know. I'm just going to play. I'm going to let you know. But I would keep my team on fire. Never switch up on my people. So I know the niggas that's free on fire. Always stand on what I speak on fire. Cause I know what I eat on fire. So I'm gon' slide when I feel on fire. Everything feel the vibe when I feel like the cash. So I find me, nigga, look good. If you come to get your foot out your ass. Posted in the blood, you can see me. And myself and I, we be 3D. Throwing on the green, so they NBI. You got it good, put it in the sky. A nigga better know I'm for the KCP. Yeah, put it on G. Yeah, I'm in the field, lace up my cleats. Finna catch a play, no pin, no T. Niggas don't see no remedy. I done paid my fees. Now I'm working pressure on some out your tree. Can't catch a vibe, but you won't catch me. Hey, hey, you can catch a vibe, but you won't catch me. You just won't catch me. Hey, you can catch a vibe, but you won't catch me. Hey, hey, now I'm working pressure on some out your tree. I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that, I like that.
I've been building mounds, not a mound, circuit pyramids, school of thought, follow God, fuck with your religion, I've been building mounds, not a mound, circuit pyramids, school of thought, follow God, fuck with your religion, y'all niggas look smart from the view of my pyramid. Hey, look at that from my pyramid. I've been building mounds, not a mound, circuit pyramids.
You see what they tell a lot of people to do now? Just cut out whatever I want out of the beat, out of the song.
Y'all niggas look smart from the view of my pyramid. Hey, look at that from my pyramid. School of thought, I was building mounds. All I did was dig. Now I'm building pyramids. Mama, look at what I did. Cut off the leash, took off the hook. The world brainwashed off of just one book. Same book to my mama telling her the cheese. Don't bring me no pics, that shit get cooked. Did my research, found out my worth shit. I own everything. That's why the Elohim with the young God like me to cast off who around pussy out the dirt. Master ceremony, listen what the God say. Manifest life off of what I say. Parents I'm D-I-N-Y-A. Pull up the liquor, then I say I shake. I was building miles, not a mile. Circuit pyramids, school of thought, follow God. Fuck what your religion is. Y'all niggas look smart from the view of my pyramid. Hey, look at that from my pyramid. I've been building mounds, now the mounds turn to pyramids. School of thought, follow God, fuck what your religion is. Y'all niggas look smart from a view on my pyramid. Hey, look at that from my pyramid.
Yeah, man. Spell is broken, y'all. Big bang. See how we gonna do this. Spell shit ain't what it seems. But this ain't what it seems. 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 Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. This ain't what it seems. This ain't what it seems. Life ain't what it seems. Life ain't what it seems. Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. The spell is broken. Finally, we can see. The spell is broken. The spell is broken. Finally, we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally, we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally, we can see. The spell is broken. We free. DJ Khaled voice, we the best. Can't dwell on it cause we manifest. I got enough skin, bulletproof vest. You say you for the people, put you to the test cause the spell is broken. People looking sad, I'm just in my bag. Only time I'm not here is playing tag. We didn't come off about that big mag. They ain't give it to a straight zigzag. Get your lick back, say you did that. I once gave a fuck, I had to get it back. Can't get it back, you gotta live with that. The government is crack, get out of here with that. Now we know who we are. They mad, they know we a star. They lied, they owe us a car. Really, they owe us the land. Recruitment, they owe us some lands. Wanna help, you owe us a hand. You silly, I know who I am. I'm an Indian, I don't give a damn. Why take problems with none of the perks? The system ain't broke, we don't know how it works. The opposite gonna tell you the opposite. The odds really obstacles, we was here first. I'm spitting the scripture, they call it a verse. You pick the description, they call it a curse. This is fucked up, so yeah. We was really fucked like both ankles. When they try to help, I'm like, no thank you. Trust them and they gon' flank you. They ain't conquer nothing, but they did snake you. Don't sleep near me cause I will wake you. I'm really woke like pills make you. You show me love and I feel grateful. I'm not a hater, I don't feel hateful. I'ma say something, hope it reach the nation. They could more appreciation. God created us, y'all a recreation. When you say Caucasian, all I hear is Asian. I'm a truth teller, I'm not an agent. Truth teller, not an agent. I'm not proud, but the father's flagrant. When life's a world stage. Right is right, wrong is wrong. We know that we can police our own. This shit ain't what it seems. Life is but a dream. Who's ever doing the asking is asking. They know who we are. They mad, they know we a star. They owe us a car. Really, they owe us the land. Recruitment, they owe us some bands. Wanna help, you owe us a hand. You silly, I know who I am. I'm an Indian, I don't give a damn. This ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems. Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. This ain't what it seems, this ain't what it seems. Life ain't what it seems, life ain't what it seems. Merely, life is but a dream. Merely, life is but a dream. The spell is broken. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally, we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally, we can see. The spell is broken. We free. The spell is broken. Finally, we can see. The spell is broken.
Stack that bitch up, right?
Yeah, truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. The truth can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Can't be told, it gotta be realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't free, it ain't realized. Freedom ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Freedom ain't free, it ain't legalized. Realize. Yeah. They really work a long time ago high. Same motherfuckers still here right now. Colonize on our land, they ahead of us. Changed our name so much, they scared of us. Children of the feeling, y'all don't compare to us. Pale-faced people, this ain't y'all area. Actually, I'm about America. Pale-faced people,
when you cut that,
it's gonna be leaving up the playing field, bitch, I'm down. How you a victim, bitch, you a Karen. Cognitive dissonance, you don't need sperm. You got white privilege, so you don't need sperm. Looking at my homeland, man.
Tap in. Blaze. Got a little echo. I think it definitely is that. It is what it is, though. We live in the booth. Music Media Lounge. How y'all doing tonight? Peace to everybody, in the chat that's live with us. Tap in, musicmedialounge.com. Obviously through the campaign.com too, by the way. The Autonomous Party, though, what they do? It's your boy Mac Gaither, Gotta Green, Baron P. Blaze, campaign mix, live on Music Media Lounge from 8 to 9 o'clock. Make sure you tap in. Try to make sure we get some folk that pull up on us first before we go into the podcast segment of the conversation, guests and bills, etc. But we ready though.
Strap in. Tap in. You hear me? Let's go. Go ahead, yo. Let's tap in. Let's go.
Every day I wake, I make my mind up. I'ma be the one, be the truth, be the way. Yeah. Every day I wake, I make my mind up. Gotta keep my mind on the because they only telling their side of the story. Out here telling lies like they on Morid and poor rich kids get their money off on it. But down here in the hood, yeah, we know Forex. We growing up, yeah. We got the good. Good of them assets, good of my bag. Get rid of cash before the whole market crash. A news flash, just a blast from the past. We gonna smash now. Be prepared to hit the gas, yeah. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melodation, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, yeah, we travel. Try. Blood eye, yeah, we travel. Woo. That's my child. Woo. Blood eye, yeah, we travel. Hey, hey, hit him with the high, yeah. Staring no hot from Virginia. Yeah. I know I'm more because I'm blessed. I know I'm more. I pass the test. We got to see with the true eyes. We need some brand new bright ideas. We got the hearts and some great minds, yeah. If we could all just be sincere. Build a land, get the wealth, change your name up. Get the title in your hands, switch the game up. Melodation, elevation, arise. We divide, blood eye, yeah, we travel. Try.
Niggas, the top 5 lister, double S drifter, separate sipping, and you know I came with it if she cute with it. Yo.
Aborigines, which means what? Black folk. You never find a white aborigine. Aborigines are called natives, or they're always dark-skinned people. You and I are aborigines, but you don't like to be called an aborigine.
This is a call to action. United States of America. You guys are up. We are sick and tired, and enough is enough. October the 4th, this is Trumain White. He's a father, a truck driver. He went to a local tire shop down in Liberty, Mississippi, where he got his tires changed, paid for them, and left a tip. From looking, this is the tire shop at the area that he was in, down there in Liberty, Mississippi on Main Street. Trumain proceeded to go have lunch at a local diner. However, the tire shop owner, the place I just showed you, they called the police claiming that Trumain had poured something white on the grass, which was later confirmed to be a white paper towel. But yet, they called the police and they knew what was going to happen. Now, without cause, no questioning, no explanation, anything, the police approached Mr. White and they violently arrested him at the Moose store. This is where they began beating on him and tasing him. Then they handcuffed and shackled him, then took him to the local jail. There are plenty of cameras out here, plenty. All right, so we need those cameras. We need to see the footage off of every single bit of that. Now, the good people over there at the Moose store ended up contacting Trumain's mother. Yes, she went down to the jail, saw her son, and he looked horrible. He looked horrible, the way they put their hands on him, and he looked tired. And he told her, quote, "They're going to unalive me, mama." Now, his mother tried several times to find out what his charges were, and there were none. I even went and looked up to see what charges were on him. He's not even in the system. Later that night, Trumain was unalived. He was unalived over at this sheriff's jail, Aramaic County. He has a lot of questions that need to be answered ASAP. Trumain had no prior arrest. He's never been in trouble. He was a provider for his daughter. And we demand that the DOJ and the FBI step in. They need to step in and arrest the sheriff and the deputies who unalived Mr. Trumain. And they also need to arrest that tire store owner who made that fake police call. They need to arrest that person. Like I said, I'm not for sure if there was the Freeman's Tire and Accessory Shop, because that's the only one that I saw on Main Street. And the really sad thing about it is you can't even find this story on no news station. You can't find any newspaper articles or anything down there in Liberty, Mississippi. Sheriff Tim Rawton, we get ready to make a lot of noise, a whole lot of noise. I want everybody to share this, boost this. We're going to cry aloud until we see justice done. Justice includes holding them accountable, arrest made, and being convicted.
White man 50 years ago told my granddaddy that when my daddy got free, things would be better. When he got grown, now my daddy's grown. Somebody told my daddy that when I got grown, things would be better. Now I'm grown. Now I have the white boy today telling me that when my children get grown, things will be better. So they'll see that this is just the old trick. Black people, you notice, didn't vote for no president's holiday this year because every 4 years it's a new trick, a new phony fake image, and they have given up today. They want to do it themselves. They want to go for self. They want to pool together and unite like the Jews did. At one time, white
so many millions of black people are sick and tired of the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party looks at the black community as a group of people that don't have an attention span, that don't have any intelligence, that pretty much appreciate ignorant ass stripper rappers more than we appreciate our scholars and our thinkers and the people that can actually shape policy. And as a result, our communities are falling apart. You can go to Democratic run districts around the country and see that most of the black children can't even read in school, but yet everybody knows the lyrics to a Glorilla song. You can vote for whoever you want to, but some of us will never vote Democratic again.
It is indeed the last days. The last you are being tested. And if you do not grasp the comprehension of the understanding, then you will be foreboded into the apocalypse. Brother, read.
In the 613th year of the reign of Abu, king of Israel, came up against Judah and built Ramah to the intent that he might not let go out of come into or the king of Judah.
It is very clear, as the brother has just demonstrated, that therefore, however, if we are not to be found into the missing, then we must adhere to the understanding of the founding of the laws. All right, brother. Continue.
Lord, I said, and the king's house had sent to Bahar, king of Syria, that dwelt, and I said dwelt, through the Cummings, saying 3 times in this language, there was in between.
Therefore, however, understanding this, that you must make your contribution to the handsomely to the nation, so that we may build a paradise on earth as it will be in the afterlife.
This guy's joking, dog. Hey, this is trolling for real, though. That was trolling for real, though.
Because 50% of black deaths a year In America is abortion. In America is abortion. In America is abortion. People have to understand just the bravery. There's so many people everywhere. I know everyone can relate to being afraid to say what you're going to feel because you feel like you're going to, you're going to lose something. So whether you agree with me or not, I believe people are going to feel the fact that someone is brave enough to say something. Every day I do 5 things that people have been historically killed for. Every day. And it's just, I want to prove, first of all, I am Jew also. The 12 lost tribes of Hebrew. Do the math. Do your research on it. We have got our culture ripped from us and then told we were just simply void of color, which is another definition for Black. But if we knew we were a culture and knew we were a people, the way the Jewish people know, then we wouldn't abort ourselves. We wouldn't shoot each other dead in the streets and then rap about it. We wouldn't brag about, having sex with each other's wives. We would keep our families together and we would do business together. The most dangerous place for a Black person in America is actually in our mother's stomachs, because 50% of Black deaths a year in America is abortion currently.
Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded on Margaret Sanger's approach to eugenics, right? Eugenics was a movement that was born in the United States under hard doctrines of racism with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African-American community in this country, right? To eliminate it. With the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah.
Tap in. Part 2. African-American influence, Hebrew African-American influence, featuring Lee Cummings. Lee Cummings, how you doing, man? You got a black screen?
Oh, do I?
Yeah, we can't see you. Just
I'm trying to black out you black folk.
Yeah, you're blacking out black folk. You mad at the black folk right now?
Nah, I ain't mad at black people, but I love my people like I teach my sons. Love your people, but keep your eyes on them. You gotta be wise. Ain't nothing wrong with you loving your people, but don't take your eyes off them, because our people, like Kanye West just said, our people they're not mentally right. We're unstable as a people right now. Because anytime you commit murder and then you glorify it, there's something wrong with you as a people, as a society. And I'm just talking about the Black culture right now. Everybody's rejoicing over murder, rapping about it. And our children's heroes are the murderers or the serial killer rappers. I love rap music. I like a whole lot, man. I love it, I love the beats, the lyrics, but it's like everybody can't handle that. So you have some people that are just so easily swayed by words. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. They don't want to admit that, though.
Yeah, that's what's going on right now, man.
Influenced them, like how we're talking about the Hebrew influence of people labeled African Americans today. Obviously, the people African Americans today, the Negro, is definitely influenced by the music of hip hop. You know what I mean, and the culture tied to it. So, and we're definitely talking about a lot of things that makes us look very hypocritical in the position of when we want to talk about being redeemed or reparations or certain things, but we're highlighting killing each other and downgrading the women and all these other things.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Caught up in. That's all I landed. I just was going along with what you were saying, though, as far as me understanding what you were saying about it. Oh, man, are you getting close to that book, man? How that book, man? When that book gonna be dropping, man? I want to make sure people know that ahead of time too. Are you close? Okay, this week. That's why we like to catch you before it drop. You know what I mean? Like to catch it before it's hot on the press.
It should drop Wednesday or Thursday. It's gonna drop Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's a physical book. How many pages you got in the book, man? How many pages is in the book, man? You've been working on this for a minute now.
This new book. This new book is about maybe 110, 115 pages, but it's 8 by 11. If it was 6 by 9, it'd be something like 300 pages, 300, maybe 350 pages, but about 8 by 11. She about 110, 115 pages. When you and you know what she'll do? She'll teach you how to speak Hebrew from your. You could be sitting on the porch. You can learn a word every day sitting on the porch. And I guarantee you, if you take my class, I have you speaking in sentences in anywhere from 45 to 60 days. You won't be a scholar, but you'll be able to ask for water. You'll be able to ask somebody their name. You'll be able to ask for directions. You'll be able to just have like little childlike conversations with another human being, another person. But you will definitely be able to speak. You'll know the science behind it also. Yes, sir.
Hey, I want to ask you when it comes to.
I don't feel like answering any questions today, buddy.
Oh, yes, how you feeling?
I'm just playing, but go ahead, man. All right, go ahead, bro. I'm just kidding, man. Go ahead. All right, what you got? Oh, he talking about me.
No. I had to get my sources right because how we came in here to talk to you about this tonight. So, man, as I was asking you about the book, I seen you on another show. That's why I wanted to find the clip. You know, I like to find clips now. You remember this show? You was on this show?
I do. Yes, I do.
All right. And obviously, like how you come on our show, this book is tied to the language, right? And obviously,
exactly. This book, the new book
translation.
It's
the
King James. It's the first 15. It's called Genesis Volume 1. It's the first 15 chapters of the book of Genesis. The first column is in English, and the second column is all Aramaic Hebrew, what they call Paleo Hebrew. So we're giving the language back to our people.
I got this
You
clip.
got me with the bow tie. You got me looking like a Muslim.
Yeah. You were dressed up. Yeah, I caught you. I got you. You see me?
Got me GQ smooth. Man, wore a suit all summer. You know that?
Hey, was it the lady? I know you soft on them.
No, it wasn't that. It was like, you know what? Every once in a while, I like to break the mold and be like I be the real me. You feel me? That's the real me.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah,
I want everybody to see the real you too.
No, but this
you
the
be
deal.
hanging out with us, drinking beet juice. And shit,
GQ smooth. Hey, GQ smooth is the real me. But where I come from, that'll get you robbed.
Well, I want to play this quick.
Yeah, you know.
That's why you keep it burning. That's why you got to keep it burning on you.
GQ smooth up in Chicago. So you know that rap song ain't no future in the front. Hey, don't be out here acting like you got it.
Hey, before I play this clip though, since you is in Chicago, I gotta remember that recently we obviously heard the news of Lil Durk.
Yeah,
I know he's popular in Chicago. I know you would know, and obviously him being locked up, feds picked him up. What you think about that? Being that you in there, what's the street saying? You in Chicago about that situation with him? Before we play this clip.
Listen, man. You know, the RICO Act is being used. The RICO Act is being used on all black men that own businesses now. Anybody that has a business that's making millions of dollars, if you're doing anything that's that the feds consider non-ethical in terms of business, they hit you with the RICO Act. And I want to say this, and this is really humorous. And if I was a comedian, I would put this in one of my acts. How can your penis be placed under the RICO Act? Because that's what they doing to Diddy. Hey, when I saw that, when I saw that, the first thing came to my mind was, I said to myself, somebody in the federal government is a comedian. To hit him, to use the RICO Act on that, I mean, that was unique.
Hey, that's why brothers out here worried about sending cash apps.
Now y'all better stop worrying about that. Y'all better stop worrying about the RICO Act, okay?
Hey, brothers, you got their business accounts tied to them goddamn cash apps.
Man,
cash app might be doing people a favor, telling you how to get rid of your business, sending money to people. You heard me? They might have known what was coming.
Hey, you better stop having all them parties and inviting all them people. You better stop trying to be popular.
Ain't it? That popular, hey, I'm telling black liberals ain't looking too good. We're gonna play
Yeah,
this clip though, man. I want to get to because obviously the book
go
that we
ahead.
got coming out in a couple of days is tied to obviously translation
What's
of
the
that
date on
KJV.
this, man?
I can't even. We can see what it says here. It said like a year ago,
Yeah,
8
it's been
months ago.
about a year
Yeah,
ago. That's about the last
yeah.
time
What's
I
in
had
the
a
year?
suit on. Real talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
there. Let's play the clip. Check it out. That's what you was talking about.
Go ahead.
Tap in, y'all.
I found is that when you read your Bible, this Aramaic, since the translation came originally from that what King James scholars called Aramaic, the great fountain, from which all the other fountains or other languages flowed from. It's kind of poetic that they said that. So I stole that line from them. And you'll find that while you're reading, that you're looking at actual Aramaic translations all throughout the script. And it's like it gives you a greater understanding as a minister and a teacher and a scholar. A lot of these people on the internet who have labeled themselves as teachers, they are not teachers. You know, it's like okay, the guy that does the most, that yells the loudest, draws the biggest crowd. Until what? Until somebody sits down with you and they stick a straw in your brain and they say, okay, let's see what you really got. And so you can only maintain the facade for so long.
Right.
Run that, Cummings.
I do.
So the history part of this, we give you 6,000 years of human history, beginning with ancient Sumer, which was Adam's situation. I mean, which was Adam's generation. Now I wonder why the Spirit says situation.
So what you're saying, and it is situational. What you're saying is that the Garden of Eden was in Sumer?
It was in Ur, but it was by the Tigris and the Euphrates River. And this is a lot of people are upset about this because you hear people saying, well, you know, civilization began in Africa. Well, the Bible don't support that. The Bible says that Adam was placed by the Tigris and the Euphrates River. That's ancient Mesopotamia. You understand? So somebody said, well, the oldest skull or the oldest skeletal bones were found in Africa. You know what I say to that? I don't have a problem with somebody walking over in Africa and dying. I can't dispute that. But the book said he was placed by the Tigris and the Euphrates. I got to go with that. So go ahead. It's on you.
I see. But you know what you just said brought to mind is the conditioning that we have, right? That Black people only come from the so-called Negro.
That was the scam.
That the Negro people only come from Africa, when the truth is that we were all over the planet. We were the first people.
But when you come into that knowledge, Sister Tamara, the so-called Negro was spread all over the world.
Yeah.
Then it exposes the reason for the lie. So why was it necessary to coin the phrase that all Negroes or Blacks come from Africa? Because if you had knowledge and you look down in Mesopotamia and you saw where Sargon the Great said in one of his writings that he ruled over the Sagaga, and what is that? The black-headed people.
The black-headed people.
And where did Sargon rule? He ruled in Mesopotamia. And so then when you take that little key and you go and open up another door, and this other door is in your Bible, 11th chapter of Genesis, where it says Abraham came out of Ur of Mesopotamia.
Right, run that.
Now we see why it was necessary for the phrase.
You see, I had to catch you though. You hear me? Yeah. Aramaic. You know, Aramaic though. Hebrew, Aramaic. So everybody clearly, as you just heard, because that's what the video is about when she interviewing you.
Right.
And obviously you tied to this tonight talking about what your book, obviously outside of just the book part, but obviously some things, anybody in that chat, got some questions, you can go ahead and start putting them in there. We can start trying to get them for Lee Cummings to answer them. But at the same time, when it comes to obviously the book that you're dropping coming up this week, and obviously the language part, you know what I'm saying? And obviously the people. I had some questions, you know what I'm saying, myself, but Aramaic, Can you tell people the difference between Aramaic and Hebrew and how it was used from your research and you being an author dealing with this at this point?
Yeah. It's like, how would I say this to the people? Because it's going to be somebody out there that knows. I want y'all to understand. Before to answer this question, I had to be a fuddy-duddy, and which means I'm gonna have to say some things. I'm gonna have to lay a foundation to get to the answer, and that being this: modern Hebrew is not Hebrew. See, modern Hebrew is a square script that's called the Masoretic script. That script came about around 800, 900 AD, which means that's that square script that you see all these brothers running around here saying they're Hebrews, but they got these square letters on their chest. Well, that's not our alphabet. That alphabet is only 1,000 years old. Our father's alphabet is do you have any Aramaic on you?
I mean, I got your dictionary, obviously, I brought with me tonight.
Oh, let me do this.
So is there something you want to share with the people? It's all
I want you guys to see the difference. This Hebrew that King James, his translators translated from, it was is 6,000 years old, and the people that call themselves Jews, they know this. And when you start talking to them and you speak to them in Aramaic, they freak out. And they freak out because they don't know Aramaic is the root of all the Hebrew that's floating around the world right now. And so the people, some of you all work on cars. You'll understand this. And I'll use another example for the sisters. You sisters, when you make a cake, you put all your ingredients inside of a bowl, and then boom, a cake pops out, and then you add your frosting. Men that work on cars, they know that the engine block is the beginning, the starting point for the vehicle. And so you get the engine block, and what happens after that is they start adding the transmission. They add all these different things to it. Now you got an engine and a workable car, right? Aramaic Paleo-Hebrew, one and the same, is the building block for all the languages in the world. I'll say that one more, like they say on the block. I'm going to say that one more again. Not one more time. The building block of every language on this planet is Aramaic Paleo-Hebrew. But they turn around and tell you, don't learn it. They tell you, don't you learn it. Everybody else, English. The H is identical to the head in Aramaic. The Aleph is identical to the letter A. 19 of the 26 letters in the English alphabet have been taken from Aramaic, the Aramaic alphabet, Hebrew. So there's really no such thing as the English alphabet or the English language. That's why King James, that's why his translator writes in his introduction to the 1611 Bible that the King James Version was translated from that great fountain. Every language on the planet uses as its foundation Aramaic Hebrew. I want to show y'all something. I'm going to show you what it looks like.
All right.
And then I want to show you what our father's language look like as opposed to what they are doing around the world, how they are creating this facade that square script in Jerusalem is the original language when it's not. Y'all see this right here?
No, got a green. Hold on.
Yeah.
We're going to switch it up. You see it, got? All right, we got you.
You got me? Now, y'all see this? Do I need to make this a little larger?
No, I think that's good.
Yeah, now you check this out. What are you looking at? You're looking at the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
This don't look like that alphabet that you see the brothers wearing. A lot of the brothers, that square script, do it. This is the original. And what it's saying is all, A-L, all, Aaron. This is Aleph, Het, Resh, Nun. Aaron. Who is Aaron? Ahiah. Ahiah who? Your brother. Whose brother? It's Moses' brother. Aaron Ahiah, your brother. Paniah, before in the face. Het, Kippur. What's Kippur? Kippur is Yom Kippur, the atonement. So this part of the Leviticus scroll is telling Aaron how to keep the atonement. And then down here it says Za'at, which means this. Yahi, bring or come, and he says Aaron again. And then down here it talks about killing the sacrifice, washing the meat, the whole nine. But that's what this Leviticus scroll is saying. The reason they don't want you to learn this is because, and I'm telling y'all, I know you don't believe me. I've been working with this language for 14 years. It does something to your mind. It's, chess we teach people chess is the game of life. It keeps your mind young. But what I found out is this right here does something. It's almost like it's electrical for the brain.
I'm glad you're showing everybody this.
And this what white folks say, we had to bring a scholar in to read the Dead Sea Scrolls. Well, what would that make me if I can read it?
Now, obviously, this language, though, would you say, because I've had somebody ask me this, so I'm going to ask you before, and I'm going to show a source or something. Would you say that when people say Hebrew, even though Aramaic in the same Phoenician, the Canaanite language, people might say?
Canaanite is not, the Canaanites, one thing people have to understand about the Hebrews, when we conquered you, we didn't destroy your history. So when you go inside the King James Bible, guess what? We maintain the history of the people that we conquered. We tell you, the Canaanite was in the land, the Perizzite, the Jebusite, the Girgasite, the Hivite, they was all in the land. And we kept their history in the book. But everybody is doing what to us? Everybody's trying to blot us out the book. 82nd chapter of Psalms. The whole idea was to blot out the name of Yisrael. First of all, I want to say this to all you brothers, that you scholars out there. There was no such thing as Israel. Because the letter I did not come. The letter I is not Hebrew. The word is Yisrael. YSH. Israel. You can't find Israel on none of the stones or none of the ancient manuscripts.
Right, because there's no vowels either way, so we wouldn't have been an I or a.
Well, that's also not true. That's also not true.
What you mean by that then, as far as like you said, Yish, right, with a Y?
Yisrael. The Y is a what? The Yod is a what? The Yod is a vowel.
Right, but there isn't no. When you say Yisrael, you didn't put an I after the Y.
There is no I in Hebrew.
That's what I'm trying to say. So
that's why I made the comment.
Vowels, but I isn't the vowel that you're speaking of based off of that language.
The vowel has to be what? Has to be the Y. And if you go to the ancient stones, the Moabite stele, the Teldan stele, the Dead Sea Scrolls, you see Yisrael. You cannot find this thing called Israel.
Now it's crazy. I'm glad you said that because a lot of people are fanatics about being Israelites. You know what I mean? Even though
ain't nothing wrong. They are Yisraelites. They are not
Israelites. Okay,
see, so
you correct them for those.
Remember what I said?
When
I did that show with that woman, what did I say? All these cats running around talking about their teachers. Let me tell you something, man. Just because a guy can say one word in Hebrew, shalom, that don't mean he speaks Hebrew.
You can say that about a lot of people in their culture.
He memorized one word. Can you speak in sentence in paragraph form? If you can't do that, you don't speak Hebrew. You just know a couple words.
I agree with you on that too. That's real. I mean, that's why you obviously are doing what you're doing, and that's why we're here, because we want people that are into this, obviously, on that level, to at least be able to interpret even just the KJV, understanding that what we talked to you last time on part 1 of what you showed me dealing with King James VI. And this link right here, though, before I go on to something tied to what I talked to you about last week, I wanted to just point this out that I came across is that someone did ask me. So that's what made me get a source that I could like kind of get to what our conversation was going about. And it was dealing obviously with the language of Canaan and ancient Israel. Like you said, there was no I though back then, and history
Right.
and the origin of Hebrew. So
And you
this
got
person, that wrote this.
But in your so-called scholarship, you have to be able to admit that these letters did not exist. You can't be running on somebody say there was no letter I, no letter E in Hebrew, no letter U, and then you're a fanatic. And you got to be honest and say, hey, you're right, dude.
Right. And inside of this, when he brought up the Canaan part, it brought me back to what you said with the lady on the interview when he was wearing that bow tie.
Yeah, looking like a Muslim. Right.
You begging fire.
Right.
Let me stop talking shit. No, but in this situation though, it said though, Hebrew developed from the Canaanite dialect that was found by the Israelite tribes when they conquered the promised land.
That's
a dialect that was taken. Let me just read the whole thing.
Yeah, that's
that
false.
Was taken over by them, and for which they almost entirely gave up their native language, which was closely related to the old Aramaic dialect. It says in 1976 edition, Lintinga inserted, I know I messed that name up, a reference to Deuteronomy, basically short, 26:5, but also rephrased the sentence on the relation of the native language of the Israelite tribes to Old Aramaic in a more reticent way, more likely because the Old Aramaic inscriptions only date to the 9th century BCE. And I'm gonna stand there. What you think about this right now?
First of all, that is erroneous. That is it sounded good. It used the word reticent, which I don't even know what that means. Somebody need to Google that for me.
We're gonna get that for you right now.
Yeah, because I mean, it sounds good. It looks like that word might mean to retain. I don't know. I mean, I'm guessing right now, but I want you to
make sure I got it right.
Get Genesis the 10th chapter. I'm going to show you how old Hebrew is. I'm going to show you how old Hebrew is. He's talking about the 9th century, right? We're going to show you something. I can show you something that dates older than what I'm going to show you, but I'm going to show you that Abraham was called the Hebrew in 1800 BC.
Okay, so I want you to know what this word means real quick, right?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
I ain't
gonna lie to you now. This is how we gonna do this. So everybody that's live with us too. RETICENT. So I'm gonna go back and read it in the sentence and tell you what it means in the correlation. It's saying, but also rephrase the sentence on the relation of the native language of the Israelite tribes to Old Aramaic in a more reticent way. And that word reticent is similar to reserved, withdrawn, introverted.
Yeah, it says not revealing one's thoughts. That's right. That's the definition.
Yeah,
that sounds like us. You never know what black folk thinking. But check this out. I want to read you something.
Yeah,
I want to read you something from the 14th chapter of Genesis. Now, Abraham was born, and you can fact check. Well, you can't fact check because I'm the one that came up with the timeline. See, I developed a timeline where I was able to find Joseph in the 12th dynasty of Egypt, and I was able to find Moses in the 18th dynasty of Egypt. And what was so phenomenal about the research was that when I found using the timeline that I had developed, I found Moses in a dynasty, the 18th, the 17th, and 18th dynasty, where all the pharaohs had the last name Moses. Run that. Run that.
Run it.
Woo! Run that. Indisputable.
What up, Mike David? Peace to you. Yeah, man. Believe, man. And he's saying to you too, Lee. You know what I'm saying? Look what he said to you, Lee. You know what I mean?
Swati Miro. Now, Swati memoirs. Hey, man, listen. We to that brother. we are the seed of the noblemen, the black Scots, the black Welsh, the black Brits, the black Irish, and the black. We are the seeds of those princes and those noblemen. North America, or the 13 colonies, after we got overran by the white barbarians, became a prison or a penal institution for the seed of the noblemen. This is who we are. So this great lie that they teach in the school system, that blacks, Negroes in America, all of them are descended from slaves, is a lie. The colonists and the colonists were what? They were free Negroes. That's why you got Negroes running around right now, last name Freeman or Freedman. He was always free. But I want to get back to this Hebrew thing. In Genesis, the 14th chapter. Now, check this out. Abraham was born 2194 BC. Subtract out 100 years, and we got 2094 BC. Now, look what they said about him. Lot got kidnapped, right?
Right.
And Genesis 14 and 13, it says this. I'm gonna read the 12th verse first. And they took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. Verse 13. And there came one that had escaped and told Abraham the Hebrew. So Hebrew, Abraham was called a Hebrew, not a Muslim. So what do you think a Hebrew speaks?
I mean, name, language, kind of goes together.
Can I preach?
What
about
Hebrew?
Having church right now?
What about Hebrew?
But I want to give you the same thing. Hebrew is Hebrew.
Okay, I want to make sure people know there's other terms that I found.
So what I'm saying is,
I got some notes here
for
that.
With an I. It's spelled Hebrew in Hebrew is spelled
O.
No, it's spelled OBR.
OBR, not A, not an ABR.
It's pronounced. No, it's well. You can use the A. The O and the A is interchangeable.
Okay,
the O, the A, and the W is interchangeable in translations, but OBR is Hebrew, and it could also mean Passover.
The crossover, right? Transition.
I don't want to go there. I want to stay focused.
Okay, go ahead.
So Hebrew was being spoken in this Bible in 2094 BC. What is he talking about? The 8th and the 9th century BC. In fact, we're not having church.
No, but it's factual. Like, long as it's factual, we ain't in church, because I don't want nobody thinking I'm trying to do.
I'm gonna show you one word, but I don't want to do that, because what good is it gonna do if the people don't speak Hebrew? If I run them through the script and I show you authentic Aramaic words, what good is it gonna do you if you don't understand it?
I mean, that's the whole point of us. Outside of the influence,
that's why we jump these glasses off.
Exactly, because look, people are influenced by it. People go obviously by these terms, from Black Jews to Hebrew Israelites, and you just said something very important that I don't think a lot of people understand that I understood, and I don't even call myself that, but still at the same time, shout out to my
man. In 2000 BC, 2000 BC, Abraham was speaking Aramaic. Solomon, we got a seal. I'm gonna show.
You said Adam back in the day on his platform, by the way.
Yeah, Adam
was speaking Aramaic.
He was a Hebrew. Right? Yeah, you know why I say that?
But you can't say he was really a Hebrew before Eber, right? Because Eber in the genealogy.
Yes,
why would you say? Let me ask you that, because some people ask that question to me too. Being that Eber is where some people would take the word Hebrew that obviously goes to Hebrew comes from, right?
Yeah, it is.
So the Israelite part, or Yisrael or Yashrael, wherever variations out there y'all get caught up in of the same word meaning, of dealing with the Jacob and the 12 tribes, Jacob would be obviously an Hebrew, but now the Israelites that are following ethnically called Hebrew that are now becoming Israelites because they're tied to Jacob. But before Jacob, Eber is really the origin of where this Hebrew and Hebrew ethnicity is tied to, as far as the namesake. What would you say?
Man,
okay, go ahead.
I'm finna hit you with them. Hey, like this is what we say on the block. I'm finna hit you with them things.
Put a moment. Hold on.
I'm finna hit you with them things. You ain't gonna never.
That's what's coming at me, so I'm throwing it back at you now.
That's the thing about Cummings. You'll never see it. You never see this overhand right coming, because I keep you busy with that left hand.
Okay.
I keep that left in your face, boom, out of there. But check this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to show you right here in your Bible, all of y'all go to these churches and in these camps. This is the original religion. This is the first one that people say, how you know that this Hebrew thing is the first one? It's the original. I'm going to show it to you. Because right in the Garden of Eden, the Most High left all these signs to show you this is what I want you to do. Now check this out. I'm going to go to Genesis, the 4th chapter, and I'm going to pick it up right here in verse, I don't want to read all this because there's people that come here for Bible study. I'm going to read verse 4. Genesis, the 4th chapter, and verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstling of his flock. What is that in church? That's the tithe, ain't it?
Right.
When you bring the first, you bring in the tithe. So right now we got what in the garden? Right outside the garden, we got tithing. Then it says, and of the fat thereof. Wait a minute. What you mean he brought the fat? I'll take you down the book of Exodus and show you what Moses, when he established the tithe, he told the bring people to burn the fat on the altar because the fat is the Lord's perpetually. So we got the fat, we got the tithe, the firstling, we got the Sabbath day, because the book said Yahweh or the Lord rested on the 7th day, on the Sabbath day, and he blessed it. And we got Yahweh in the garden. So what are those customs? Those are the same customs that Yahweh gave to Moses in the wilderness. The firstling, the firstling of the flock, the Sabbath day, burning the fat, and the same customs you find in the New Testament when Jesus or Yeshua showed up. Hold on, I'm almost done.
Okay.
So what am I saying? The first religion is right here that the Lord gave you. There was no such thing as Islam. There was no Muslims in the garden. There was no Buddhists in the gardens. There was no Catholic in the garden. They were Sumerian Hebrews. They couldn't be Israelites. There was no Israelite at the time because Jacob, Yaqub had not been born. So what were they? They were Sumerian Hebrews.
Well, could the tradition be though? Because you're saying that Eber ain't got no connection to how a people are being called.
He didn't start it.
I didn't say he started it. Because I understand that part. You just went to Genesis.
100 years. He's about 100 years after the flood. Eber, 100 maybe 150 years after the flood.
Right. So I mean, and just that whole, since we talking about it real quick, however the case that you trace back customs and traditions that's going back to the time frame of Adam and Genesis, that always make it all the way to Joshua, right? Time frame in
that's
4,000 AD.
That's 4,100 years later. From Adam was created, the common date that seminary students and these so-called philosophers and pundits and these so-called Bible scholars, and that's why I call them so-called Bible scholars. They use a date at 4004 BC that was given by the Archbishop Usher of Canterbury. Usher of Canterbury. So check this out.
I read some shit with that too.
You got Lee Cummings tonight. You got the real deal. You got Lee Cummings. Now check this out. Lee Cummings came to show. He came to work today.
Okay.
Now check this out. So their timeline is off by 138 years. I discovered that.
Well, say that again. How many years?
The scholars' timeline for the creation of Adam to the Exodus is off by 138 years.
Interesting. Well, man, can you expound on a little bit of that?
No, you guys are too smart. You don't tell smart people anything.
Okay.
If you was a little slow, I'd spill the beans. If you were slow, I'd spill the beans.
Hey, listen,
since you ain't slow, I'm done talking.
Okay, all right. I ain't mad at you. I'm gonna call you on that one right now. I'm gonna call you on that one. Now, for sure, that's an interesting point. They're gonna have to get that, like you said, in the class. Maybe, hopefully, you'll reveal that to the folk outside. You know what I'm saying? when they get into the
Hey,
dope
I
about the
copywrote
class.
that
You'll give them
timeline
that.
too.
You know what I'm saying?
I got a copywritten timeline, and that's how I found Joseph and Moses. That's how I found him. And that's how I found the correct date of the Exodus. The Exodus date is dated around 1250, and they call on this fake pharaoh by the name of Ramses. No, Ramses' name was used in the days of Joseph around 1917 B. There was a land called the Land of Ramses in 1913 BC. So when you come down to 1496 BC, and the brothers are down there building statues, and they built this treasure place called Ramses. They said, "Oh, that must be the Pharaoh of the Exodus." They dummies, man.
I want listen.
Yeah,
Real talk too.
I know.
I already.
Go
You
ahead.
know what I'm saying? I already know where we can go with this.
Let me drink some of this.
Yeah, get some water. I'm gonna put up the next drink. I'm gonna come back around to this.
I got this right here, boy. You better stop playing.
All right, you ain't no beet juice tonight.
Well, just say no. You know
I'm proud of it.
You know, this is 100% pure water. Yeah,
water.
That
water.
Like we say, mayim in Hebrew, mayim.
Mayim. That's the. Yeah. So he giving y'all a little something.
And if you say with no blemish, you say tamim or tamim. Tamim.
Boy, that's the water.
It has no blemish.
Organic water.
No blemish. That means it didn't come out of the swamps down there in Florida where you at.
Spring water there. You say that's like saying spring water.
Spring water.
Yo, give me the next link, man. Hey, so some folk asked me about this too, and I had to go into it, and obviously you hear. And in part one, when we obviously the KJV, that you're translating, dealing with the original Hebrew that people will learn in the class, obviously by buying the book, that's coming out in a couple of days for y'all that didn't catch that.
Right.
This link right here, the Herald, you know what I mean? So I tried to find a source that I can relate to get the best context to ask you the question. Can you slide up a little bit, God? It says Hebrew Scottish connections. You know what I'm saying? That's what because we know the Negro questions, right? I want you to check what this is saying here, though. It says, I was interested to read Christy Scott's articles about the declaration of Arbor being used by some groups in the United States to promote the belief that the Scots and other Northern European peoples are descendants of the Hebrew people of the Old Testament. It says there are several points which actually bear out this interpretation. For example, the Gaelic language is very closely related to Hebrew, and the bagpipes originated in the Middle East. The Hebrew translation of the word British means man of the covenant. It says tradition.
That's true. That's true. Hey, go ahead. Slow down. Slow down.
Okay.
Because the word, it ain't British. That's two words, Brit and Yish. The word for covenant is Brit. And the word,
I agree. I found that.
That is the Aramaic word for covenant. And the Brits named themselves after the covenant. What that tell you, man?
Listen here. Again, that's what people.
That's a no-brainer.
The covenant of man, the man of the covenant, British, the man of the covenant. You heard me? Now, next paragraph, it says tradition has it that the stone of destiny, now Pete Isley and everybody out there, the stone of destiny or Jacob's pillow, which means those two things are synonymous, arrived in Ireland with Jeremiah, the prophet, around 600 BC. He brought with him Princess Tamar Tefi, and shout out to Nine Ether, the daughter of Zedekiah. This princess married Hiraman, king of Ireland, and from this union descended a dynasty of Irish kings over 1,000 years until King Fergus crossed to Scotland in 506 AD, where he was crowned king of the Scots in Iona Abbey. You know what I'm saying? Now, people, how it goes down. This next part, get into it. It says from King Fergus, there descended a line of Scottish kings until 1603, when King James VI.
Oh, I'm listening.
And you good? Where it says when James VI incorporated the thrones of Ireland, Scotland, and England. This is the guy that you're translating his book, James VI, right? And it says into one throne of Great Britain and Ireland. To this day, a British monarch must be crowned on Jacob's pillow and trace his or her lineal descent and authority back to King David of Israel. So what you think about that, based off what you've been dealing with and all that good stuff?
What was King James called? He was called. Now he was on his effigy. That's a big word for his picture. He called himself a Jacobus or a Jacobite. Well, the 49th chapter of Isaiah says some would surname themselves by the name Jacob or Yaqub. And I want y'all to hear this, and I want you to fact check me while I'm talking. Now, in 1715, prisonerships, there were 2 times, 1715, 1745, prison ships left England to bring the black Scots into the Americas. And guess what these ships were called? They were called Jacobite prison ships. They didn't tell us that in the classroom. All they said was, man, England emptied out its prisons and sent all its derelicts and drunks and murderers. And no, these were not derelicts. These were not drunks. These were not prostitutes. This was the black royalty that were being deported from Europe in the midst of the race war. See, that's why they won't let guys like me in the classroom, because I'm going to teach your children the truth. There was no such thing as racism until 1800. All peoples got together. Religion is what tore the world apart. But look around you right now. What's separating black folk from black folks? I'm a Baptist. I'm an apostolic. I'm Church of God in Christ. I am sanctified. I'm a Muslim. I'm Boudini. Y'all feel me? It was
liberalism, man. A lot of people that express themselves, that's what they would say by God's name, whatever they want to call it.
It was religion at first.
That, you know.
It was religion at first. They said, no, religion ain't gonna get it done. We cannot control the masses of people across the globe. Let's do Willie Lynch. The dark-skinned Negro versus the light-skinned Negro. The short Negro versus the tall Negro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Negro de Guinea versus Negro de Terror.
Right? Right? Negro with 4 quarters versus the Negro with 1 quarter.
Quadroons, octoroons, and that's that monkey shit though. See, I gotta stop monkeying around. I ain't really with all that.
Well, all you people that's under the sound of my voice, tomorrow, drive downtown, your local downtown area, and see how many dark-skinned Negroes got jobs in the downtown area. You'll be surprised how many jet black brothers and sisters you see walking through downtown with a briefcase. That's all I got to say. Like Forrest Gump said, that's all I got to say about that.
That's all you got to say about that? All right.
Yeah. Yeah, you feel me?
We go. I'm gonna keep it sliding. All right, then. The next joint I got for you though is tied to obviously the name. So obviously, based off of the KJV and what I just showed with Scotland KJV and how they trace themselves to the House of David. However, people, that's just what it's showing. You showed it, the British and all that good stuff. They're being tied. Their influence. We know that the 13 colonies is technically a British 13 original colonies.
Right, in the gap. So, but no, hold on. They were Scots.
Well, Scots, but you know what I'm saying Brit, because as I just read, it's saying that all of them,
they're all
King
the same.
James was the one that unified. He unified
it.
So he's the sovereign king, you know what I'm saying?
There's a reason why I'm emphasizing Scott.
Okay.
The great scam was King James, the first of England. That's
right,
all
I get that part.
do.
Right. You gotta highlight that.
They never said he was King James VI of Scotland long before he became King James I. They unified the 2 thrones, the two kingdoms. So he was King James VI of Scotland, and the literature on the Scots is black, curly-haired, Afro people. But they didn't want, so they never mentioned that because they didn't want you to do no digging and say, wait a minute, if King James was a black man, and we got a spread, we got Chip's manifest that describes his grandsons and his sons as being tall, black, swarthy men. And the original colonists, that came into the 13 colonies to kick this thing off, they were Scots and Brits, but mostly Scots. The Scots and the Brits are one and the same, but I want to focus on this because why? This is the reason why us and our children, we were never inundated or taught from the original charters. Each colony received a charter from the king. They never read the charters. Because when you read the charter, you're gonna find out these were Scots, and the Scots were known to be black, swarthy people, period. Of which King James was the king of the Scots. There's only one people on the planet that I know that let their God be white and their kings be white, and it's so-called Negro in America. That's how goofy we are. But everybody else made sure their king and their God looked just like them. Can I preach? Yeah,
I mean, you on point, though. No, you on point.
I am on point. We're the only folk that fell for the okey doke, right, man?
The black church, I've been asking that question for a minute now. How are we doing this? Like, how is it that everybody else got their depiction, but we the only one trying to be crazy to some white man on our wall?
I went into a black church and took down the white Jesus off their wall. Them folks want to assassinate me.
You still heard, though?
I did that, homie. I went in there, give me this. They called the police. They said, help. He's a fanatic.
They calling you all sorts of names.
Hey, whoop, 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 whoop. Oh, no. Hey, man, it was about 6 police cars.
Hey, they got you out there like them.
They came to get me. And I was like, I was a young, I was full of fight and energy. So when the Gentile sergeant came in there, the Bible says, don't worry about what you're going to say. I will give you what to speak. So the white boy ran in there. There's about 6 cars. They got the front door. I can't get out. I'm standing. He runs in there. I said, Go ahead. He said he can't get out. They had me cornered like a rat. I was dead. They had me dead to left. The Gentile said, what seems to be the problem? I said, and this is what came out my mouth. I said, you have no jurisdiction here. This is a theocracy. He said, you know what the Gentile said? I know that. I didn't even know what I was saying. Hey, listen, man, I didn't even know what I was saying, but the Spirit told me to tell this Gentile sergeant, you have no authority here. This is a theocracy. I know that.
Oh, shit.
I'm not making this up, guys.
Hey.
This is a true story.
A true story. Hey, since it is a theocracy, though. He was right. The sergeant know that the theocracy jurisdiction, a building or the land,
he had no authority inside the church.
He has no. Yep, that's
he had no authority inside the
law.
I could have claimed asylum. I could have said, I'm claiming asylum here.
Hey, the mob used to do that up north. They used to go in them churches and act like they were. They always showing you them sitting in the church, telling them what all their sins to the. You know what I'm saying? But the police outside, they just waiting for till they can walk away, waiting for somebody else to come get them.
They can't bum rush the church. You know why?
They can't run up in that church.
The police can't bum rush the church.
You know what I'm saying?
And to this day, you know why? Because the founding fathers passed legislation to have separation from separation from state and church.
And some people didn't like that, and some people might blame a lot of things that also manipulated based off the Republic Constitution. But that's a whole other conversation. But however. Because
what is this guy got up right here, man? Who is this guy?
This guy is tied to the Gentile.
That's a Gentile posing as an Israelite. But go ahead. What is his story?
Well, he's talking about the name of God, and I wanted your opinion since you brought up Gentile sergeant talking to you. So we're gonna play the clip real quick. Oh, go ahead, guy. Just tap in.
Of God and Jesus are. We'll start with Jesus. It is Yeshua. Yeshua. The Hebrew letters for God spell Yod, He, Vav, He. People like to say Yahweh, but it is really, you ready? Yahovah. The real name for God is Yahovah. The Hebrews stopped saying God's true name a long time ago out of fear of blasphemy. They did not want to improperly use the name. Behold, nail, behold, hand. Whew, I wonder what that's in reference to. I wonder what the real...
That's it. What you think about that?
He told the truth. You know, them white folks know the truth. He told the truth. Yahweh.
Oh, you giving the Gentile no credit then? The Gentile ain't pseudo
How
this.
can I give him credit for something? How can I get his big credit for something that we invented?
I ain't saying you give. I'm saying again. You want to know what he was up to? I played the clip. I want to get, as you said. At least he's telling the truth. Okay, you say you're telling the truth. Okay. So is it with the V? Is it Yahovah or Yahuwah?
Nah, man. That's
how would you pronounce it? How do you pronounce it with the Aramaic joint? You know what I mean?
I would say Yahweh. You say Yahweh. Yahweh is the tetragram, the 4 letters. YHWH.
Right.
But if you want to stretch it out, you Yahweh.
Yahweh.
There ain't no V in there. It's Wah, not Va.
Exactly. Because some people get real particular about that part. They would debate you on these social platforms. Just
all you gotta do is tell the cat there's no V. There is no A. There is no V in Hebrew. That'd be the end of the conversation.
Okay, that's it. That's why I want people to understand.
Right.
That's why I want people to you know what I mean? Ain't no V there. Right. So when did the V come into play? Can you give people that? When did the V come into play? So so underneath Rome, in the Latin part of this translation is when the V started being implemented, basically.
You know how we know that?
Go ahead, give it to him, please.
Because when they wrote Yeshua / Jesus' name above his head when they was crucifying, the book said they wrote his name in Hebrew, Latin, and Greek. Well, in Hebrew is Yeshua. In Latin it is Isvus, ISEVS. And then in Greek, it was IEOUS. You see what I'm saying? So those were the three languages that they wrote that his name in. But they tell you the brothers didn't speak Hebrew. Then why would they write his name in Aramaic?
That's why I be wanting to know. You know what I mean? It seems like,
man.
What's up? Why are people so mad at this language? Like people still call it the Hebrew Israelite thing sometimes. That, like you just said, Aramaic is the historical part. No matter if you want to get into Rome, historically, they can't walk around them telling you the people in that time frame of Joshua, right, in what language he was speaking. You know what I mean? And the people of the land that were native of Judea, as they call it. Yahudah.
See, these so-called scholars asked him this. When Yeshua was talking to Pontius Pilate, what language was they speaking in? He was speaking to Pontius Pilate in Hebrew, bro.
Yeah, or Aramaic as it
said. Dude say, hey man, are you the king of the Jews? Because when he looked at him, he said, so you say? He said, hey. He started asking Jesus Yeshua questions, and he wouldn't speak to the dude. Shut him down. Lesson number 1, the king of the Hebrews taught you don't talk to the police. So hey, it's right there in your book. That's number 1.
But Pilate though, Pilate was kind of fresh though, because he respected homeboy too though, at the same time. They put pressure on him. Pilate was like,
no, Yeshua was cold.
I'm gonna let you do it. You know what I'm saying? Joshua,
the first lesson,
what I'm reading.
There's a lesson in that. He told us don't speak to the police. So he didn't say nothing. And then Pontius Pilate said, hey man, you ain't gonna speak to me. I got the power to let you live. Yeshua said, man, you ain't got no power over me, bro. And then it came down to this. He said, well, are you a king? He said, man, I came to bear witness to the truth. What are we doing tonight? What are we doing tonight, y'all? We bearing witness to the truth. We laughing and joking, but this is the truth.
Tap in. All right, so I got something else for you. The letter.
We could do this all night.
Okay, well, we here though. We only got a little.
Do this all night.
Pretty good. Because these questions that I want to be prepared for part 2 of this.
Go ahead.
Going into the book. Let's play this clip. Go ahead, God.
I just gave you proof. His name is not Yahweh. Is his name Yahweh? Absolutely not. Is his name Yahuwah? Absolutely not. Is his name Ahia? Absolutely not. That is a declaration, remember. All right. Here's Yahweh, right? We got it in ancient Hebrew at the top and the Syriac block letters below. All right.
All you do is add an A to the end of each consonant. So there is no U sound, there is no O sound, and there is no E sound in the ancient Hebrew. All those sounds came into existence much later as the original sound ah evolved into other sounds throughout history. But again, we're dealing with the ancient Hebrew.
What is the father?
I just said it. See, you see how people be getting too out of sound and how the white boy said it.
I got listen, man. This is why
what
we
you think about how that works? Because you teaching the language, so this is the part where I want to see, because two different people right now are talking about the same God, but they're getting into it about how they pronounce it and how it's spelled.
Man,
exactly what we just got to talk about.
I'm gonna say this. But I'm not gonna. We got a saying where I come from. Let the book tell its story. If you got evidence, let the evidence speak for itself. You feel me? So what I'm gonna do is I want to show you something, and then I want y'all to make up the people that's in the audience, make up your own opinion, make up your own minds concerning the matter. Now check this out. This right here is called the Mesher stele. This stele right here has a carbon dating of 850 to 800 BC. And it was written by the Moabites. Moab was one of the sons of Lot, who was the nephew of who? Abraham. So Abraham's nephew, Lot, had two sons, Moab and Ammon. The Moabites, they wrote this stone because they were Hebrews, so they just weren't Hebrew Israelites. All Hebrews are not Israelites.
Right.
But that's another lesson altogether. But
right.
you can see the alphabet. This is Aramaic, what they call Paleo Hebrew, just to trip the brothers up to get them off the trail. But you can see, if you know Hebrew and you out there, here's the wall right here. That could be for and, but the wall also is used in some of the words, in some of the spellings of the words. So the brother, I like the guy, he sounds good, but guess what? He's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Because the wall is used in spelling. Because we have an alphabet. So all the words were used in the alphabet. Like we got a word that says without. The word for without in Hebrew is the het, the wall, and the samak, H-U-S or H-W-S. And that means hasa or hussy, which means without. What would you do with a hussy? You put it out, right? You still there?
I'm listening. I'm just letting everybody get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for the brother to say, and the word for is and was is hawa, H, the het, the wall, which is the W or the U, and the alif. That means was or is. So no, the brother, I said I give him this. You do follow each letter with a consonant with the alif, the letter A. But it appears that the Edomites or these white Jews, they established a table sound. Like a table sound is we all gonna have gonna have this alphabet, we're gonna have the same sound. So they put the alif and then they put the wall on the end of the word. Either way it go, you're still right. If the guy says Yahweh, he's right. If the other guy says Yahweh, he's right. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's semantics to me, but I mean, variations.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Syriac, Hebrew, Aramaic, and you know what I mean?
The only one that is not part of the family is the Masoretic script. And the only reason the Masoretic script, what they call modern Hebrew, is part of the Hebrew family is because their base or their foundation of their language is Aramaic.
Y'all heard that out there?
But they can't read it.
Y'all heard that out there? So you're saying the Masoretic script? When did the Masoretic script come around? Real
about
quick,
800, 900 AD. It's only 1,000 years old.
Is there anything else you want to show on this right here before I show my next joint to you? Because it's all in line.
Ask the people,
matter of fact, yeah, real quick. Anybody in the chat, we got a nice little amount of folk that's tapped in with us.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, again, like I said earlier, put them in the chat. We put them on the screen. We're gonna let Lee Cummings get to them before we get out of here tonight. So make sure if you have any questions, you know what I mean? They just listening right now.
Hey, I just came to hang out. What are you talking about? We ain't going nowhere right away. We're gonna hang out for a minute. Tell that bartender to keep the bottle before another hour.
I need another. Oh, okay. I don't.
Hey, listen. You can do it. You can do it. Look like you straight. Look like you well rested too. You've been sleeping, ain't you?
Man, listen, it's been a long week, man.
I don't even want to go there. I want to keep your energy right here. Let's keep your energy right here.
But hey, at the same time, I'm gonna show this next joint though, tied to the same two clips. So I'm gonna show a source, and I want you to.
We don't have no questions from the people.
Hey, anybody again?
Anybody got a question or a statement?
If you hear live or a statement you want us to reply to, or Lee Cummings to reply to, put it in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Once again,
check us. Don't be afraid to fact check us.
Yeah, if you got a source that you think is better than what we are presenting, or you feel that whatever we are talking about ain't right, you definitely can always put it in the chat, and we'll tap in with you live. Since y'all hear what is live, it's not pre-recorded or anything. So we can go to the next joint. Here we go. Sefer. So earlier we played a clip, and this white dude at the end of that clip of another channel that be talking about a lot of these topics right here that we're having tonight. But you obviously, Lee Cummings, author of Negro Questions, I want to ask you these questions, and that's why I'm bringing the source. Because some people they ask me stuff, and then I have to go find the source. I'm gonna say I'm gonna bring it and ask you from the source standpoint, from what's being presented to me. Maybe it's being shy tonight or something. I don't know what's going on. However the case might be. As you just said, the last from the Gentile, as you said, to the brother, I would think the other guy, he didn't show his face, but I would say he sounded like he was a brother, as we would say. And you agree actually with the Gentiles breakdown of the name of God, and you kind of you gave a little bit of credit, I'm gonna say, to the other guy, but you really more favored what the Gentile was saying about the name of God. And in this situation, this is from Sefer.net, tied to them books they be putting out with all the stuff, the Peshitta and stuff like that. They be dealing with all that Talmud and all that good stuff too. However, it says amongst the Messianic believers, God or Yahweh is mainly referred to as Lord, and then after that it says Jesus. However, is referenced as Yeshua, not Yeshua. However, you see that pronunciation. There's also now a growing movement which prefers the name of Yehovah. It says the God of Israel's name is revealed by the Rosh HaKodesh to those
Hold on. Where is that
choosing. You see that right there? It says Ruach HaKodesh.
All right, you know what the Ruach means?
Ruach means spirit, right?
Yeah, man. I give you. You know what? That's what I like about you. You like to set traps.
I don't set traps.
Yeah, you do. You set traps. You set traps. You catch some lames, don't you? Hey, this dude be saying. I like that about you, man. I like that about you. That boy said traps. If you slow, he gonna get you. Yeah,
if you slow,
he gonna get you.
He said you slow.
Hey, Ruach means spirit. Ha means the, and Kadash means holy.
Okay.
Or sanctified. So he's saying the Holy Spirit.
Right.
So he's saying the God of Israel, Shem, or his name is what? Is Ra or Ray by the Ruach HaKadash. By the Holy Spirit. Go ahead. I told you. Yeah, don't play with me.
I ain't playing with you.
Yeah, you trying to play. You setting traps. You play. You'll be a good chess player. You know that?
Oh man, they told me that back in the day.
Yeah, you would be a good chess player because you set traps. Go ahead.
All right, but you know, and Yahuwah spoke of Moshe, saying, "Speak to El." You brought it up earlier in that translation of the language. You said Aaron was in it, right? In that language earlier. And look, it says El, Aaron. and to his son, saying,
No, hold
what's
on.
it say? Well,
You
go
see,
ahead, go ahead.
the E on the front? You see the E on the front?
With the L.
Take
the
that
EL.
off. The L means, in Hebrew, the L is a prefix. The prefix, it's called the lamid, the letter L. It could mean 2 or 4. So you see the L in front of his name, he said, to Aaron.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Never really thought about that translation like that. I ain't gonna lie.
This is your prefix, but there's no need for a letter E. You could the lamid or that L could stand by itself, because somebody else here said, "Oh, his name, that's God." No, dummy.
Oh, I'm glad you put that out there like that, though.
That
See, I'm glad you translate. See, I'm glad you, because some people might translate that, and that's why your class is important, right? Knowing the real translation
You
of
see
the
what he
situation.
says?
You see what the chat, but you see, it's a teaching lesson at the same time.
Now this verifies what I said at the beginning of the communication. It says, "On this wise, you shall bless the children of Israel."
Mm-hmm.
I said that.
Hey, see, but I spell it. I might see my pronunciation. I might say Yasharel with how I see it there with the A.
Listen,
but
man.
You say, I'm gonna say that's how I would pronounce it. I like to say Yasharel.
It don't matter how you pronounce it. You know why? We're in different parts of the country, different parts of the world. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah. I got to keep it Yasha to keep it going.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out.
I've been working on my languages. You know what I'm saying? I'm working out my languages with you, Lee. This got me interested like that. I got my dictionary from you and all for a reason. So I've been, you know what I mean? I've been reading, I've been studying on my own. I ain't no slouch. So they got to keep up. You know what I mean? Now, Yahuwah, it says bless you. And you remember, scroll down, because each part, we got so much to go through. I don't even, the people should know. I'm going to go to this one right here, though. And so the children of Yasharel are blessed by having the name put upon them. Consider if there are children of, and it even has it with the E, see, Yesharel. And while we are here discussing this syllable, which people are called by the name of Yeshua, bearing in mind that the word Messiah or Moshiach, Yahshua HaMashiach, is the title, not a name for those who call themselves Messianic.
Hold on. What's the title?
They're talking about the term Messiah / Moshiach.
Well, Mashiach is the Hebrew word for Messiah.
Anointed or Messiah? Anointed?
Yeah, Messiah means anointed in Hebrew.
Right.
So when you said that he's just giving you, he gives the word in English, then he brackets the Hebrew spelling of the word Mashiach or Mashiach.
Okay.
So he's basically telling you, but there's a problem with this, because there is no C in Hebrew. So it wouldn't be Mashiach. It would be Mashiach.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So everybody catch that. That's what I'm seeing. Giving you a little. I'm trying to pull it out of them.
Remember what I said earlier? Remember what I said earlier?
Before we get out of here, get that book.
Remember what I said earlier? I said the difference between modern Hebrew and ancient Aramaic is what? I said ancient Aramaic is the what? Is the building block or the foundation for modern Hebrew. And Aramaic and modern Hebrew is what's the word? It's the cornerstone of modern Hebrew. Without it, they wouldn't have a language.
You know what? I'm glad you said that, though. Because, see, people need to know that, see, simply because they be reading it, they be debating about this, but they don't be knowing the translation or the language that the people of the time frame was speaking in. And again, as you're translating this book, the KJV, for folks that are diehard about being, from the Christian to the Hebrew to even the Muslim that's into the Old Testament to the New Testament, I feel it's important that, just like ignorance is bliss, but if you know the true language, then you can really interpret it and really get a better understanding of what I think, especially like Yahshua, as it's showing here, HaMashiach teachings was really about. It was about redemption in that time frame. And as I said, you said about Pilate dealing with him in the king position. Well, Rome, as you just said, Pilate is the person that Caesar has positioned to look over that area, dealing with the territory specifically where Yahshua was at. And Pilate was seeing how even other groups of people will label Hebrews, were having issues with Yahshua's teaching of redemption, but did it in a certain way that, like you said, he was like, the pilot was like, he's smooth though, because he ain't causing the revolt, but at the same time, he's telling people how to move a certain way. Understand, like you said, give Caesar what is Caesar. Like, he was smooth though, but he understood redemption on a micro level and a macro level, I would say, from my understanding now, what I get. What you think about that, Lee, before we move on to the next link, dealing with Yeshua?
Could you condense your statement?
I know it was a lot, right? I apologize. Yeah. Would you say that Yahshua would you say that Yahshua HaMashiach was teaching what we call redemption teachings?
Yeah, he taught that, but he taught something else. He wasn't just teaching salvation, man. He had a great, see, people don't know this about Yeshua. I don't want to get into it because I can reveal a thing about him that'll turn your head upside down. But I don't want to get into that because then we'd be here another hour and you trying to get out of here. But one thing.
No. Oh, go ahead. We got questions, but go ahead. Finish your thought.
Language. Tell him to clarify his question.
7. He said, clarify your question.
Yeah, what do you mean by Oham? All languages, go ahead.
There you go. So I heard Lee Cummings tell the lady life didn't originate in Africa. I believe that too. But the reason for them saying Africa is because they want to tie blacks to the monkey evolution theory. But what do you think about that, Lee?
The issue with that is if blacks evolved from monkeys, then some black man or black woman should be evolving from a monkey today. But there's only 2 forms of evolution, or 3 that we did. There's only 2 that I know of that is still occurring in nature: the butterfly and the caterpillar, and the tadpole and the frog. And they still have this evolution thing going on. So if that thing was true about the so-called Negro, somebody in the world should be evolving from a monkey, and it is not happening. So what does that tell you about what's that boy's name that came out with the Darwin? Charles Darwin came out with socialism. He came out with this. He came out with the evolution theory, and he came out with the survival of the fittest. Now Charles Darwin's theory was adopted by the white races. And what were the white races doing? They took his theory and they applied it to human beings. And they said, okay, if the human beings, if they are not strong enough to survive, we will not help them survive. And so they put Planned Parenthood in the black community. Why? This was Darwin's theory. And the survival of the fittest. If these Negroes cannot survive, kill the babies in the womb. You understand? Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what party has embraced Charles Darwin's theory of the survival of the fittest? The Democrats. Run that.
All right, we got King Akaki L. I'm sorry if I say your name wrong.
I haven't. I've been so busy with this new piece I got, brother. I call it the Teacher's Edition. We're gonna have a language all of our own again. The Nabateans, but the Nabateans descended from Ishmael. They didn't speak. They spoke. The Nabateans were Ishmaelites, and they were Arabians. They were not Hebrews.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nabateans.
Hey, some people would say that because of Ishmael, since he brought that up, that Ishmael, not only some people do say what he asked him though, tied to that whole thing. I want you to know, I've seen that before.
I can't kick against you, brother, because a lot of Arabic words,
right? Arabic
are also Aramaic. Like right now, we got a group fighting called Hamas or the Hamas. Well, Hamas in Aramaic means violent or aggressive.
Right.
So a lot of words that's coming out of the middle of the so-called Middle East right now that are Arabic are really Aramaic.
Hey, did you know? Hey, Lee, tell me if I'm tripping. I was looking at this today, but I ain't gonna pull it up because I ain't got time. But since you said Hamas, I seen something tied to Hamas dealing with the time frame of King David ruling an area tied to Hebron, Hebron.
That's our land.
Right, and how what was going on, the violent, since you said violent things that were going on. Because even though they say he ruled for 33 years in his term, but in Hebron he only ruled it for a certain amount of time because of the violence and certain things.
He ruled 7 years. He ruled 7 years
that's what it was.
In Hebron, and he ruled 33 years over all Israel.
But did you know that this word Hebron is tied to that term, a gas station? I don't want you trying to gaslight nobody, but it's called Chevron.
Chevron.
Chevron, right? That was interesting. I didn't know that.
But check this out. You notice a lot
I learned that today, actually.
A lot of the Arab brothers, they got the name Abu, A-B-U, which means his father. The U or the W is a suffix. It means his father. Or some of them are named Abi, A-B-Y, which means my father. Those are Aramaic. That's all Aramaic, man. Go ahead.
Or our last joint, shout out to Mike Davis.
Genghis
Khan and the Tartarians. Everybody
want to know Genghis Khan was a Hun. I thought he was a Hun.
I thought too.
He was a Hun. He said linked to the Tartarian Empire in America. The only thing I know about Genghis Khan was he chased them white folks out of Asia. And he was so good at what he did was he ran them up into Europe. And they started over there. That's when these race wars began in Europe between the white barbarians, Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun. They moved them white folks out of Asia and out of I can't say Germany, but out of Asia 2 different times. That's all I know about that.
That's real. I think that's pretty correct from what I've seen too. That's why they were looking for another route.
Yeah, they buried. I think it was Attila the Hun, if I'm not mistaken. They blocked the river, and they buried him under a river. And then once they buried him, they unblocked the river. He's buried under a river.
All right, boom. I'm gonna play this quick clip. Lee, check this out. Give me a little feedback on this. You know what I mean? Negro slaves knew God by the Bible's name and by the Bible's names. These are all tied to his names and you know what I mean? Go ahead, play the let's go ahead. Run it.
To sing Negro spiritual songs such as Kumbaya. Slaves who were brought from West Africa was known to sing this song in South Carolina and Georgia. Kumbaya is said to mean come by here in English, but I will tell you the real spiritual meaning behind these words. The name of the God of the Bible in Hebrew is originally called Yahuwah. The short form of this name is called Yah, which is where we get the phrase hallelujah from, which means praise be to Yah. Also, every prophet mentioned in the Bible had the short form of God's name mentioned in their own names originally in Hebrew, including the Messiah, Yeshua, before they was given their new names pronounced in English. Black slaves were getting whipped and forced to work long hours on the plantations. They would sing out Kumbaya, which means come by here, Yah. The phrase of this Negro spiritual has nothing to do with the English language at all. So this meant that the slave owners had no idea that their slaves was calling out to their God in Hebrew, Kumbaya, come here, Yah. It was known for slaves to sing Negro.
Here we go. So what you think about that? Kumbaya, my Lord.
He's called Kum, C-U-M, or C-U-M, K-U-M, Q-U-M. That means raise up or rise up. That's what, and you can see that word is in the New Testament when the Lord raised the little girl from the dead. He said, he said, come, which means to rise up. So Kuma means to rise up. I like that. And then he says ba, and when you say ba in Hebrew, you say bo, but it's spelled B-A or it could be spelled B-Y-A, and it's pronounced bo. It means come. So the kum means rise up. The ba means come, and then the Yah is Yahweh. That was pretty good.
Okay, I want to get your feedback because you got the book. I want to see if some people out there that's putting out stuff.
But that cool, you can see that.
Yeah,
check this out.
Go ahead.
Let's look at that. You can see that in the New Testament when he was raising a girl from the grave. He says Kuma something. I want to. If you got a second, let's go look.
No, man, I pulled it up. So yeah, go ahead.
That's in Mark, the 5th chapter. I want to go take a look at it. I didn't think I'd be doing Bible tonight. Good thing I actually know what I'd be talking about. You would have got me. You'd be setting traps. Here it is right here. At the audience, if you got a Bible, you go to Mark, the 5th chapter, in the 41st verse. And it says, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm listening.
It says, it's Mark 5:41. And he took the damsel by the hand and said unto her, Talitha Kuma, or come out, or come. That means rise up. I just said that, right?
Yep.
And then it says right here, which is being interpreted, damsel, I say unto thee, rise. I said that. So the word comma means to rise. Now this word right here, he's calling her a damsel, Talitha Kuma. I don't know about that because we call women, the girls, we call the daughter, she was called Beth, you know, and if she was a virgin, she was called, I think, Bethul. But I don't think if we had a word for damsel, I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going.
No, I ain't no pressure. I mean, I just wanted to show that, you know, you play that clip and just what you gave me back on it either way, kumbaya, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely I know people, you know, in churches should have known that growing up, we heard that before. Sing that, them hymns, you know what I mean? Give me the next joint though. And then after that, I'm gonna go into something. You almost there, Lee. I appreciate you for tapping in. And again, everybody,
I'm having a good time, man. I'm enjoying myself. I'd have ghosted you 30 minutes ago if I wasn't having fun.
He would have.
Yeah,
I ain't lying though. At least you tell the truth.
Ghosted you 30 minutes ago. I'd be like, hey man,
good.
I gotta go get that cornbread, homie. It's a rizzle. You know? Yeah.
Nah,
go ahead.
Real talk. So as the last joint though, even though it mentioned, go ahead. What you say?
No, I'm listening.
Okay. Even though the last joint mentioned in the hymn Kumbaya, and obviously mentioned West Africa, you know what I mean? And this is kind of tied for y'all that watched the last Sunday's joint dealing with pseudo this and pseudo that. I was having some conversations on social media with this too, and it seems because some people like to jump. As we're explaining tonight, the language. And last time I had you with us, you know what I mean? You mentioned that it was Hebrew people in, obviously, West Africa. This image you see here, though, is tied to the Songhai Empire.
Right.
This is the Songhai Empire's flag, okay? And a lot of people, when they see this flag, might think that they automatically, popularly, would think of the Moorish American flag, right? Or Morocco.
Right.
But they don't know the origin of that is going back to the Songhai Empire that fell, Sunni Ali as a reference, in 1492. And then the Muslims in 1492, Askia Muhammad as a reference, who took over the Songhai Empire, literally told all the Jews in the region you either had to convert to become of Islam or leave.
But
this is the empire, by the way.
I like that. Flag. I like that. Like I said, man, you got game. Your game is nice. You got game, but I'm ready for that too.
Go ahead, get to me.
Because what people don't realize is that the empire the Hebrew empires in Africa didn't begin with Songhai. They started.
I didn't say that.
I know you didn't, but I'm just saying. I didn't say. I didn't say that.
You try to catch me this now. See, I saw you.
They began with Ghana. Ghana was the first one. Mali was the second Hebrew empire with Hebrew kings. And then you had Songhai. Also, you got to look at a date for, I think it's Manny Musa and Timbuktu. Timbuktu.
A lot of people would say he a Muslim though. That's what most people would tell you in history.
But I
that
wasn't
Mali
going, I
Empire
wasn't
was a
going with the
Muslim.
religion. I wasn't going with religion.
I got
was
you. That's why I
going
want you
with-
to clarify.
I was
That's
going
all.
with the history of Timbuktu, where the king said that Timbuktu was a city. It was divided into two quarters. One quarter was for the Muslims, and the other quarter was for the Hebrews.
Okay.
See, my hey.
You on point?
I mean, come on, man.
Hey, listen, I can't say nothing. Listen, hey, let me tell you something. Hey, listen, I was so. Oh, you came with it though. I gotta give it to you. See, I read. And listen, I read, sir. I read. I'm sorry, I came up with.
Yeah. Run that.
You
Run
said
that.
Timbuktu, right?
Yeah.
And in the beginning, you said Aramaic, which means Aramaic was in this place called Babylon, right? They called Babylon. Some people call it were in that language was spoken, right?
Check this out, G.
You see that?
This is the thing that I didn't mention. There was a time Africa or the land of Ham, which it began. There's no such thing as Africa. Africa was is a misnomer for the land itself. And the reason that the word Africa is a misnomer is because there was a Roman general by the name of Scipio Africanus who defeated Hannibal at the Battle of Carthage around 220 BC.
Okay.
After Scipio Africanus, the Roman general, defeated Hannibal at the Battle of Carthage, they started calling Carthage Africa after the name of this Roman general Africanus, and the name spread throughout the entire continent. But before it was called the land of Ham, one of Noah's sons. Now, to get back to the conversation concerning the names of the different peoples that resided in Africa from northwest where Mauritania is, coming along that coastline, coming down by what they call the Tooth Coast, the Rice Coast, the Gold Coast, where you got the elephant tusks from, and the wheat and the rice, and then you coming down by the Gold Coast, and then you going up to Togo, Nigeria, and then you going over to the Congo, and then you going up to South Africa. None of that existed. There was only one name for Mauritania to South Africa. It was Bantu. Now I've evolved. I grew up. Now when I first wrote about the Bantu, it was only one people. They were called the Bantu. It either means the ta and the wa, the t and the u on the end. Those are what we call suffixes. I didn't know this. I didn't know this when I first started the journey. When I first wrote the book, that first book, probably in 2011, I didn't know none of this. But that's a suffix on the end. The suffix means the t means more than one, and the wa means his or him. And ban means, in Hebrew, it means to either build or a son. It means his son. And the reason why the word ban can mean to build, or it could also mean son, is because who builds a family? The son does. Because he has what? He has baby. He gives his seed to this woman. So that name meant his son. From Mauritania all the way down to all the way around to South Africa.
Interesting. I'm glad you answered that question.
There was only one name.
I ain't never heard that before, by the way.
I know there was only one name on the maps around 1500, say 2000, 2500 BC, before the white man ever touched down, before he ever called them lands the Congo, Nigeria, Cameroon, Togo, all these little funky names they came up with. It was all Bantu land.
Now I want to get to something because somebody in the chat, and actually it goes perfectly as we get ready to close out the convo, I want to show
Why we
something here. Go
closing
to the
out?
chat. We almost there though. I'm just saying because this is
Why
gonna
we gotta
it's gonna
close
take some
out?
time.
I'm enjoying myself.
It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time right here. This right here. That's why I'm saying.
That's that beet juice. I'm telling you. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, that part. You know what I'm saying? You ready to go? You ready to tussle? You ready to? We call that. You ready to tussle?
Like Ali said, rumble, young man, rumble. Go ahead.
Yeah, shout out to Muhammad. All right, but this joint right here gonna go with Chevon, who earlier you asked him to come back. What about the Ogham language? But he didn't ask that question. But matter of fact, God put his question on the screen. You know what I'm saying? Before we even read this joint, because it goes right with this joint. So Chevon, I'm a Chevin. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I'll pop. Huh? Yeah, 2 questions, right? So the first one, what tribe the kings of Castile and Leon and Aragon? You have any thoughts about that question?
What's the question again?
What tribe the kings of Castile and Leon, Aragon? What
tell
tribe?
Them the only we have to go with the tribe, but tell them we had to go with the tribe of Judah because Brutus was the first Judean. Brutus was the one that founded England. British or Brits was named after Brutus. Scotland and Wales and Ireland. Brutus' 3 sons started ruling that. He divided that landmass amongst his 3 sons, but we would have to say they had to be Judeans. They had to be Judah.
Okay. Oh, he says though. I think
ask him why Simeon. Ask him that.
Yeah, if you could put that in the chat, Chevin. See, we try to interact with that. Why you think it's Simeon particularly? And then it says the kings of Castile and Portugal. What Lee Cummings think? And as you see, this is us responding to you in the chat.
That was the Spanish kings, right? Castile,
Aragon is tied to what he called Spain.
But the Spanish kings was cousins. He probably knows.
So was France, right?
The kings of Castile, and Spain, Portugal, and France, they were related to the Scottish kings. They were related to the Stuarts, King James Stuart. So they were of Hebrew, they were of Judean descent. That it was Judah. And I want to preach for a minute, even though this ain't church. I'm past that hat in a minute. But anyway, check this out. The reason we know that this was Judah is because the book tells Josephus writes that in 70 AD, that millions of Judeans or Jews were carted across the Mediterranean Sea into Europe. So all those lands, they were populated via deportation of the Jews in 70 AD by the Romans.
Now, last time I had you here, I said you told me before that Jews became Roman citizens, right? So that's obviously, right. If Jews became Roman citizens, they would be influenced by that Greek culture. You heard me?
But at that time it was Latin.
Okay, well, I mean the language will obviously influence them too. That's why in the time frame of the 15th century, this time frame right here on the screen, I'm about to read to you. They're speaking Ladino and Latin. You know what I'm saying? In their modern day, everyday language.
But check this out. Check this out. Them brothers found themselves in 70 AD being spread out across the Mediterranean, right? Those brothers called themselves Jacobites. In Spain, the Spanish kings called themselves Jacobites also. And so did the brother. There were Jacobites in Spain, France, all these places that we're talking about. And Jacobites descended from who? Jacob or Jacob? But the reason why I have to say Judeans, I would have to simply say Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. I can't tell you who's a Jew, who's a Benjamite, I can't tell you. All I know is I know where Judah was. I know that That's all I can tell you. I know where Judah was. I know where Benjamin was. I know where Levi was. But I can't right now, man. The Lord put the fix in. With all the reading that I do, the Lord won't. I just can't see this. I can see a lot. We got some brothers running around talking about they got the 12 tribes chart, but they don't show no evidence.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
The only evidence we got is those West African maps that name Judah.
I mean, we got some other stuff tied to West Africa that I could point out, like Songhai Empire and other things. You know what I mean?
We got maps that go back to 1700 that name. That literally, specifically, without a shadow of a doubt, named Judah.
Hey, but that word Guinea, Negro de Guinea, that word Guinea is just another variation of the term for Gold Coast or gold. You know what I mean? Because with the Mali Empire and Songhai Empire were producing that gold. I
would say Ghana.
You know what I mean? Trading to the North African area.
I would say Ghana. What does Ghana mean in Hebrew? Ghana is Aramaic.
Right, Ghana, Guinea, kind of all.
You know what Ghana means in Hebrew? Ghana means garden. So Guinea is close to the same word. It just got a U in there. It shouldn't be in there, but it looks like the same word for Ghana, garden.
Interesting. Cause I've seen it. Next time I get you on here, I'm gonna bring that up. But I'm not gonna stop us tonight. I ain't gonna stop us tonight. We can go on something else if I do that. You know what I mean? All right. So I mean, in this though, dealing with the fact of what Seven put in the chat, and I had it. See, I already had it laid out that way. Anyways, though, I don't know if that's where his mind was floating.
Yeah, tell him I can't kick against his concept. Tell him if he got the proof. I like to see it because
okay, for sure.
Hey, iron sharpen iron. Teach a wise man, he be yet wise. He teach a fool, and he'll pull a pistol on you. Hey, you do know that, right?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. You ain't lying.
Teach an idiot. He'll up that thump on you. Say it again, man. I'm done talking on you. But go ahead.
Part. No, so this part right here though, it says Pope Nicholas V issued the papal bull, the Dum Diversus. So we ain't trying to talk to dummies tonight, but Dum Diversus, you know what I mean, on the 18th of June, 1452. It authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce any Saracens, in parentheses it says Muslims, and pagans and any other unbelievers to perpetual slavery. This facilitated the Portuguese slave trade from West Africa, since we were just talking about West Africa and all that stuff. It says the same Pope wrote the bull of Romanus Pontifex on January 5th in 1455 to the same Alfonso as follow-up to the Dum Diversus. It extended to the Catholic nations of Europe dominion over discovered lands during the Age of Discovery, along with sanctifying the seizure of non-Christian lands.
Quote
and
that.
Encouraged,
you need to underline that.
Wait, underline what part?
Along with sanctifying the seizure of non-Christian lands. So
sanctifying. You hear that word? Sanctifying the seizure. I'm glad you caught that though.
But why do we stop it here? Because that tells you that all the blacks that were sold into the North Atlantic slave trade were what? Non-Christians.
Yeah.
So you ain't a Christian. We got the maps. I can pull a map up on the screen right and blow. If you got a hat on it, to blow it off. We got a map from 1727 that calls the slave coast the Kingdom of Judah. That is why Judah came into the North Atlantic slave trade, because they refused to become Catholics. So what?
Y'all hearing that?
Yeah.
That's why the people that understand what's going on. Because I don't think people are catching this. Because like I pointed out with Songhai Empire, these are the people that didn't want to become Muslims or didn't want to become Catholics that were put in these positions to come over here.
What that was. And so check this
amongst
out.
The indigenous people.
And so check this out. Can I preach?
Go ahead. You can go ahead. You got yours. So I'm trying to. I thought I gave an alley-oop. I thought I gave an alley-oop.
You did give me alley-oop. Now I'm gonna do it. Okay. Hey, I'm not gonna just
slam dunk.
I'm gonna 360 this alley-oop. I'm gonna wait on you. You ready?
Slide on them.
Can I slide? Can I slide? All right, I'm
It's
finna
on
slide. Now watch me now. Keep the cameras rolling because I'm fast. Check this out. 1751, what did Benjamin Franklin say about Spain and Portugal?
They swarthy.
They swarthy. So who was it that went into West Africa and enslaved them black folks? It was black Portuguese.
Yeah.
According to who? Not according to me. I know some haters out there. Don't hate me. Hate the Library of Congress.
That's real.
1751, King Benjamin Franklin, white boy #1, said that the Portuguese and the Spanish was what? Swarthy.
I ain't got nothing to say.
I know. Run
I ain't
that.
got nothing to
I
say
better run
about that. Yeah,
What?
hands up. See, look, my hands is up. Like,
Yeah, run
I
that.
threw the alley-oop. Hey, like that bad statue of Wade after he threw the alley-oop to LeBron. That's what I just called my doing. Put my hands up
I
afterwards.
said, hey, man,
you caught that.
That's
You
how
caught
you
that.
do it. You just you tied back to the timeline. And look, they said, well, they had time to become white. No, they didn't. We've been in North America for 400 years, and we still black.
All right, so I'm gonna give you one more, and
Yeah,
this is
I
correlating
know,
to the last
yeah.
one. See,
So now what I'm gonna
I
do
was
is
ready though. I
I'm
knew you
gonna
was
have
gonna do
I'm
this.
gonna
So
have some I'm gonna have some
influence. See,
I'm gonna have some ripple. But go
okay,
ahead.
I ain't mad at you. But see, look, I had to point out because we walked into certain languages, things, and cultural things, and this. And now we get into documented, terms of people trying to might conflate pseudo this and pseudo that about slave trade, but they never talk about the Inquisition. They don't talk about it from the fact that it isn't a black and white thing in 1492
Religion.
or in 1452, that it's tied to a creed, and people call it today religion, like you
That's
said,
religion.
and the ethnic group of people that might have been dark skinned that did not want to get down with what was going on by the two major creeds, Christianity and Islam, that were fighting against each other, got caught in the crossfire, would you say? You know what I mean? But in this same joint, it's going to be verified. I want to bring up, and you gave you two sources tied to this slave trade tonight, y'all, and the influence of why, even if some of the folk might have been mixed with African cultures that were not underneath the Abrahamic religions, because definitely that would be the case too. Would you agree with that? That there was people in that area of West Africa that were not all following what we call the creed of the Abrahamic religions? Would you say that though, before I read this?
Africa was no, I wouldn't. You know why? Because,
why? Go ahead. Give me why.
Because Africa, the first religion in Africa was Hebrewism.
No, I'm saying before Hebrewism and the people that got into those regions, that it was people already in those regions that could be native, that have origin stories that's outside of the Abrahamic one. Is what I'm saying.
No, they was.
No, you don't think so?
No, them people down there was either Hebrews or they were Muslims.
Are you saying it from an ethnic standpoint, as far as the Hebrews?
No, I'm saying it from historical. It's historical.
Okay,
because
so people
because the book Genesis, the book of Acts tell you that they first were called Christians at Antioch. So that was around 70 AD. But for the first 4,142 years, they were called Hebrews. So you had the Hebrews, then you had the Christians in 70, right around 30 AD. They were 30 to 50 AD. They began to be called Christians. And then in 500 AD, you get Muhammad, which is Islam. Now I want to talk to you for a second.
Give it to him.
Now 642 AD, in 642, the Arabs overran Jerusalem and pushed the Jews down into West Africa. And then afterwards, the caliphs, the Arab caliphs, invaded Africa. And that's when they took over the salt trade and the gold trade. This is all Arabian history. So you had three groups that claimed Abraham: the Christians, the Muslims, and the Hebrews.
Got you. So within this link, since you ran that down for the folk out there that's tapped into this Hebrew influence of the slave trade, especially being that you're basically saying that the people who specifically, being that the Muslims and the Christians had their jurisdictions from, we could say, from Southern Europe going down into West Central Africa, and that we could tell from the Mali Empire historically, 1492 definitely told the Jews to convert or get out. And this same joint is going in to say, just for anybody to know, this is a whole nother source talking about the same thing. So I'm just showing it, highlight it one more time for y'all. And then it obviously tells you that in 1452, Pope Nicholas V charged Alfonso of Portugal with the Christian duty to enslave any non-Christian.
So
the
who would
Pope
that be? Hold on. Who would that be? Who would be a non-Christian?
I mean, in Lusitania in 1452, they called Portugal. It would definitely
be
the Yahudi
it
or
was
the Jew.
Right. There you go. In the story.
I know that. I know this. I know that's historical for me. In Portugal, based off of Nicholas.
Listen, man, I talk to people all the time. You know what they like to do? I said, no, man, we're not going to do that because we're going to end up arguing. I said, present your facts.
Well, here's my facts. What do you think about them? Am I tripping?
That's real talk.
Okay.
In English, that's you have a very valid argument.
Okay, that part. So in my situation, right? See, because some people try to play stupid, and I ain't here to play stupid and semantics about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm showing you, I'm reading.
Hard.
You know what I mean?
You hitting hard. This is their
I don't want to play no games about it. I think people playing games about it. I
Look,
don't want to play that game. Kumbaya.
This ain't the black man's, this ain't the black man's history book. This is coming from the white man's history book, specifically the Vatican.
Right.
So I know if you don't believe us, I know you're gonna believe the Pope.
That's the white man, they would say, in their mind.
And this right here, this was a legal document. The dumb diversa is what they call a papal bull. That is on record at the Vatican to this day. We're not making this up.
Nope.
Like they
and
say.
It said the New World and all. I showed it last week with the requiremento in 1510 that led to, even in the New World, them following the Inquisitions, that led to two different empires, the Aztec and the Inca empires here, to fall after the Inquisition was passed, extended into what they call, or like to call, the New World. But at the same time of this, in this particular joint that leads, which is 1452, is obviously 40 years before even Christopher Columbus is even in power to do anything, right? So at this time frame, who's being subjected, as you're saying, it's pointing out in here. And anybody, even as it says here, matter of fact, where is it at? I want to make sure I read it for folks. Decades later, Pope Alexander, that will be the 11th God, with the V and the I. I'll be messing that up. That's V and the I. But okay, right. Make sure 11. Beckoned Christian monarchs to conquer native populations in the name of Catholic Church, upholding his predecessor's tradition to enslave non-Christians in whatever lands they called home.
That's right.
So wherever they went after this time frame of Spain or Castile, Aragon, which became Spain, and Portugal, which is going back to this 1452 dumb diverses underneath this Pope, Lusitania, y'all. Yeah, Lusitania. So while discussions about slavery often center on European nations' wrongdoings, historians often obscure the role of the Catholic Church. The truth is, like the sound of an alarm after a long night of drinking, it may sound unpleasant. You slide a little bit, God. We're almost out of here. This is the last part. It's my last source for the night, God. Slide down a little bit more for this one right here. I want to give them a little bit of this. It's good right here. Oh, look good. They're trying to cover it up. Now go back up. They're trying to cover it up. They ain't gonna let us go. All right, then. But either way, but it's essential to move on from the drunken stupor. You hear me? Right. But it says the Catholic Church forced their views on African and indigenous people. There was no peaceful conversion and mending the ideological differences.
Right.
And it goes into more. But however, the leading group I would lead to say is still tied to the Abrahamic group of people that you spoke of tonight, tied to this language that has been stripped from a people, a culture that's been stripped from a people, and definitely telling them that they have to go about it in a certain way, which would be underneath the Roman Catholic Church. And that's not, like you said, it's not my words. This is what I'm reading from the documents of the European, as like some people like to say, white people, if they want to go with that narrative.
Right,
but however, it's documented there. I think they're racist because I don't see them Europeans as even being white people. You know, but however, you know what I mean?
It's a word that describes a people. That's all it is.
Oh, well, they white based off of the religion of being Christian and being a Catholic.
Christianity
they're not white
is
based
not,
off of their swarthy complexion, though.
No, brother. I mean Christianity white, is not a white. Is not a white religion. Christianity was started. See, first of all, we're gonna say something that's gonna make a whole. I'm gonna say something that's gonna make a whole lot of y'all mad, but I'm gonna make you think at the same time. Christianity, there's no Christian. The word Christian means Christ. It comes from the word Christ, and the word Christ is a Greek word. It means anointed. Everybody that calls on the name of Jesus or Yeshua is not anointed. The anointing is the baptism of the Holy Ghost. And when the Lord had a job for you, he put his spirit on you. And that spirit that he put on you, that anointing or that christening or that Christ, it gave you the power and the strength to carry out the assignment. So everybody that you run into that say they love the Lord, they don't have the baptism of the Holy Ghost. They have not been anointed. So the word Christian is a very loosely, what should I say, is used loosely in the churches. Everybody's not anointed. So you can't be a Christian, but you are a believer and you do have the hope of salvation. But you might not have the baptism of the Holy Ghost.
Well, shit, we're gonna end on that note right now. You say this week you ready to drop the book, so the next time we come and I'll let you, the book will be ready.
Oh, so you got your exit straight.
That was it. That was the lady. You dropped the mic. You dropped the mic, man.
Like
it's 11:30. I got to slide.
So you made a comeback. You made a comeback. You back, homie.
Yeah, for sure.
Your presentation, your ration, we call it ration or ration. That means your beginning and your CAS, QAS, CAS, your end. Trump tight, man.
Appreciate you.
I like the way you got off the stage too. You like out of here, huh?
I'm done. I ain't got nothing else to go into after this. I think that was a good part 2 ending. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have a part 3. I gotta do one more with you after the book drops. So I'm gonna wait until the book drop, let some shit marinate, and then we're gonna come back around and talk to you then. You know what I mean?
This is what I need. I need 20 students for the class.
Everybody tap in.
And I want y'all to hear this. I need 20 students for the class. And the reason I want 20 is I want to use you 20. I want to use you 20 as a test subject to teach the language, to get you to where you can speak the language in sentence form, paragraph form, because you 20 can go out and teach another 20, and we can get this thing started. So I need 20 students. Now, this is what I'm willing to do for 20 students. The book is worth $200. We'll give you the book for free. If you buy it, no, we don't give you the book for free. If you buy the book, you can take the class for free. The class costs $400. But if you buy the book, I give you the class for free. That ain't bad. That's not bad. And it's going to be hardcover and paperbacks.
You heard that, y'all? So tap in. We're gonna show. Matter of fact, we're gonna put the link in the website. In the it's gonna be on your website, right? The same joint everybody getting in.
Yeah, get them the website. Right? Yeah, give them the website and give my number. That's all I need you to do. Look at it like this. I go places and I do experiments. I go somewhere and start speaking in Hebrew. I go to the gas station to buy gas. I say, Anah Hasa Shalishim on pump Shanae. What did you say?
Yeah, that's what I said just now.
He's because in their mind they think they know Negroes or black folks. Where you from? I said, I'm from the ghetto.
I'm from the ghetto, man.
He said, well, what language is this, man? I said, it's Aramaic, man. He said, what you ask? I said, give me $30 on pump 3, on pump 2.
Let me let you go, man.
Give me 30 on 2. Hey, real talk. Put the link up to the bookstore. And
there it is right there. It's in the chat.
There it is. Come on there. Hey, come on. I need 20 students. I want to keep the class down to 20. I want to keep 20 students. All you need if you pay for the class, if you buy the book, you get the class for free. If you don't want to do that, you pay the class is $400. I think that's something like $25 a week. It's an 8-week course. I think it's 25. I think it's $25 a week. You can't. What you gonna do with $25? You
eating
can't
good
you
food
can't go to
and
the show no more with $25, huh?
No, you can't really. You really can't do too much these days. Trust me.
No,
I'm about to put gas in my tank right
you
now.
get that to the
And that
baby.
ain't gonna even get me full.
Get a
But
baby
yeah,
$25, and they start looking at you funny. Like, what is this?
shit.
That's a grip, shorty. That's a
$25 a
grip.
day on gas. I know that much. Easy. So hey.
Hey,
But I appreciate you though, man. Like I said,
hey,
I
hold on.
appreciate you
Let me
for
get.
pulling up,
Can I
man.
show him a
What up?
cover? Hey, hold on.
You want to show the cover? You got the cover before we go?
Yeah,
I showed
come
the
on,
cover.
man.
Yeah, I think you showed it last time. I showed it
All of a
again.
sudden, man, you acting like me. What's wrong with you?
That's what you doing, man. I ain't
Yeah,
gonna
you
lie,
acting
man.
like me. Yeah, you are.
Ain't
That's
gonna
how I
lie,
be
man.
acting. It's time to go. Okay. It's like, well, today is like role reversal. You getting it in. Like, I'm getting out of here. Hey, man, the Lord don't want you to leave. When have you ever seen me this energized?
The Lord knows.
I know right here. Oh, here, let me see. Hold on. I want them to see this because they ain't seen nothing. You ain't seen nothing like this. Give you my share screen. Let me see. Windows. I look like him now. Entire screen. Nope. Chrome tab. Nope. Window. No, there he is. Right there. Share that dude. Okay, I'm gonna tap on this. You see that?
Let's see. Oh, there it is. That's the cover.
That's the brand new. That's the front cover of the new book, y'all. Everything on here. Everything on here I created. I wrote all this in here on these stones. This is some of the 10 Commandments in Aramaic and Yahweh's name, YHWH, right here. And I created this. One thing I didn't put on this front cover is these two dudes doing this writing. And you like this?
That's tough.
That's the front cover of the new piece. And then this is the back cover. And I'm really thinking about keeping this back cover for volume 2 because it's hitting so hard, you know?
You clicked on it?
Yeah, huh?
You ain't click on it though. We can't see it.
There
you go. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah.
This volume 2, this the back cover of the book. And the back cover is written in Aramaic Hebrew. Probably like 3 or 4 of the 10 Commandments here. And you see the name Yisrael, Y-S-H-R-A-L, Yisrael. Lama, teach Yisrael. La, aha, to love Yahweh. Okay? So I try to get us the illusion of these Egyptian women taking notes, right down the 10 Commandments. That's the illusion that I tried to present here.
For sure.
All right, so that this is what you're gonna get. You're gonna have a book that even if this book right here, you can sit on your coffee table. And I was thinking about getting, in antiquity in the 1600s, some of the books came with locks and keys. You could lock the book up. And I was thinking about putting locks on some of these books as a special order.
Well, I'll be fresh though.
Come on,
You're
man.
But you're gonna have to make that bad boy leather back.
Nice.
You're gonna have to put that. You have to put some crocodile on the outside or something.
Here we go. I mean,
I'm just talking some shit. It's the Escalusti in me, I guess. I ain't gonna lie.
You like my covers?
No, they fresh though.
I know, man.
See what you're doing.
Man.
Hey, man. Hey, you got to depict that Negro in the best way, dealing with this language. So yeah, coming from across that water.
Yeah, we ain't playing, man.
That
this
water.
Is real.
That water.
All right, well, look, I gotta go too. I'm tired.
They got water called smart water. Tap in there. I'm gonna holler at you, man. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I got so much shit going on. But I'm gonna holler at you this week. I appreciate everybody that tapped in tonight live with us. And Lee, I thank you for presenting this right here and answer the questions I have for you and others that pulled up to ask questions. And the next time, again, we're gonna see you soon in November sometime. However,
man, you have to consider this. The scholarship behind tonight's lecture.
You see what he's saying?
I ain't never heard of paper that lasts forever.
I mean, either he put it out there though in the ethers. So I'm gonna let it marinate. We're gonna see how that works.
He looked like he got a follow-up sentence. Let's see what he say.
Well, shit, his follow-up sentence come fast. We sliding. We got We got people coming in and everything too, so that's what it is.
Oh, he said T-books. Let me see.
Old paper.
I told him to check that out. Tell him
the books.
That's a good suggestion, brother. Only one problem. When in World War III, when the Lord come back, the book said he's not going to leave one wall standing. So all of our civilization is going to be destroyed.
That's why we're trying to avoid World War III, by the way.
There ain't nothing you could do about it because it's already been foretold by the black prophets. But one thing we also know that on the 8th day, the Bible says that the earth is going to burn up in the elements. That means everything, that all traces of mankind is going to be eliminated.
I don't want to hear that. That's like Armageddon. Die hard.
Thank you. That is Armageddon.
Yeah. I'm going to leave the surface flat.
Hey, man, I need 20. I need 20 people. So I need you.
Yeah, everybody tap in.
I want to push that. I want to push that on the site. So we're going to be back next Sunday. I'm going to come back next Sunday with the same drill. I need 20.
He's trying to get y'all. You see Ali, that's how you know Ali is serious right now. He's like, I'm coming back next week Sunday. He telling us,
next week. We're going to do this every week till I get 20. I take 2 on one day, 5 on the next, until I get my 20. I need 20 of y'all to plug in with me because this is a revolution. This is a language revolution. We could be in elevators, in restaurants, and kick this, and all these other people are going to be trying to figure out what do we say, including the white Jews. They're not going to understand us.
Well, they tapping in probably right now, so you know.
They just trying. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go in the hide. Hold on.
Oh, you got this. The mask or the Pooh Shiesty? Stop playing. Now we get out of here, man.
Hey, all right, man.
We'll talk to you later. Man.
All right, salute.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Tap in next week Sunday, y'all.
Hey,
Tuesday, Monte with 20. The news.
Hey, he needs 20. I need volunteers. Come on now. Don't let me down.
Tap in. Yeah, tap in with him, y'all. Shout out to Chief Cali. He got plenty of music, man. He been always been networking with us. I appreciate Tribe Biz. Shout out to Tribe Biz. We're gonna play his joint. Be out of here on that note right there. Tap in. Peace.
Anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything. Some people open up their eyes and see the world they know outside. I can close my eyes and see all that and way beyond. When these trials of life come heavy and these obstacles get hard, feeling like I need some answers, I just go and talk to God. When I'm looking for guidance, need more insight, need vision, need direction when I'm blinded. Then I start that conversation with that voice I hear inside me, and the conversation starts with a voice inside that sounds just like me. When I talk to God, see God in anything. When I talk to God, find God in anything. When I talk to God, see God in anything. When I talk to God, find God in anything. When I talk to God, see God in anything. Your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. My daddy said don't ever assume, ask questions. It's ironic it was that advice that helped this song happen. It was also that advice that led me to my life's blessings. That same advice helped me make it through life's lessons. It was that advice that separates grown-ups away from children. That advice can be the difference from knowing or just believing. It was that advice that brought the gavel down on my decision of breaking the mental chains of this man-created religions. Is faith and belief nonsense, the biggest scam ever? I hate to say it. I swear this one hell of a mental illness. We don't believe no other time. Why we do it with these religions? The fact that COVID's killing while all of these guys is missing. A lot of hide and seek and peekaboos. Guys playing games with you. I'ma just assume he ain't got no COVID miracles. Maybe he ran out after making the donkey talk, or them stories about a guy walking on water tides. This is simply a distraction to keep you away from you and to look outside for a God when the God is inside of you. When you close your eyes at night to pray to that voice you talking to, when you ready to face the truth, you realize that voice is you. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in. You can see God in anything your reflections in. I can find God in anything I'm reflecting in.